Welcome back. It's Friday night. You're here with the Average Boys podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and I'm here with my co-host, the host with the most, the badass dude, Brian D. What is up, my dude?
Yo, Chris,
Welcome back.
what
Welcome
is
back.
going on? Yo, you know what? I am so happy to be here. I'm so happy to have internet. Like, for all those that don't know, I had some technical difficulties last week. I had no internet service for like 5 days, so I had to wait for somebody to come out and fix my shit.
Yeah,
And
since you live like in a big city, like it was gonna take like more time to get out there, right?
yeah,
I guess, yeah.
it took some time. And those 5 days I had some time to sit there and just like think what I did before internet was invented. Like what was I doing with my life?
Did some
I'm not gonna
relaxing stuff.
I'm not gonna sit here and say like, the internet has taken over our lives. I'm not one of those type of people, but shit, man, I don't want to live in a world where there is no internet, bro.
Yeah, man. I bet, man. I bet it's pretty crazy, but like at the same time, like it could be a little bit, you know, relaxing. You don't have to worry so much about like hearing random text messages or the crazy news that's going on. Like
Yo,
you only absorb
relaxing,
news.
relaxing isn't the word for it. Like it was kind of stressful. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I did have my phone, so I still had internet, like access to
Oh, okay,
internet.
you
But
still had
I have
access.
I have a smart TV or whatever it's called,
Mm,
and so if you don't have it connected to the Wi-Fi, then you can't like mirror your phone or anything. So I thought I had like the inside track. Oh, that's cool. I won't have internet. I'll just mirror my phone to my screen on my TV, and I'm good to go. My
mhm.
TV was like, nah, brother. Nah, dog.
Not today.
Nah, bro. Nah. So yeah, it was kind of stressful, but that was last week. This week was kind of weird. I had some stomach things going on, so I had to go to the doctor and all that shit. But everything's good. Got a little bit of antibiotics, and we're good to go. So
Okay.
but that's my week in a nutshell. To be honest with you, nothing much to talk about other than DC stuff, like Rob says. But
DC.
sir, enough about me. How about you? How was your week, sir?
It's been a good week. Last week, of course, we had the magnificent Michael Betancourt chilling out with us on the show. He actually what was real crazy is like I was 100% like, hey, you know what? I had asked Mike the week before to come on. He came in stride and really killed it. Remember when he came in for us the first time?
Hell yeah.
And I was like, man, we really scrambled that day. It was kind of crazy, but I'm gonna pull it out of my butt and I'm gonna pull a solo
Pause.
entry that I was just gonna run it real quick. And lo and behold, he hit me up. He just jumped right into the show, and I was like, "Mike, are you good?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude. Like, I'm a little tired, but I'm down. I want to talk some nerd shit." And I was like, "Dude, bet, let's go." And I mean, it's always good. Like running a show by yourself isn't bad. If anybody's out there and doing a podcast or some type of show has always been in your interest, of course, one of the best things that you could do is kind of like read off of like newsletters or some type of column off the internet. Like for us, we'll go off and we'll get information from different news articles for nerd news, and we'll come and we'll talk about it, open up a discussion and go off of it. It's really cool to use that when you're by yourself and you just talk, and then hopefully people in the comments can jump in, kind of like the way we are here. It always helps the conversation keep flowing, and that's what I had planned. But having Mike on the show is a whole ass different thing, man. With Mike on the show, he hits me with all the different types of knowledge, which is fucking fantastic. So we had a pretty good show, solid work last week. And yeah, here we are this week waiting for some really good stuff. Of course, we have some interesting things in the news. A lot of people are still talking about DC. Ezra Miller's still out there scaring people to death in their sleep. And yeah, man, I'm super excited. It's been a good week. Went out and got to do some freelance photography work and video work with our boys from The Collectors, which is a local shop here in the Edinburgh area. They're hosting, they kind of do these auctions and stuff, and we're kind of helping them out with their media stuff. And it went really well. They really liked what we're doing. Have another thing I'm going to be doing for them next week, and I'm super excited to showcase all that work and then kind of have that available for different people that are out there that want to maybe pick up their media work. So I'm excited, kind of creating a flow of work now, man, for me openly without needing the necessity of having to answer to anybody as a boss, and it feels great. Feels
Well,
fantastic.
I'm glad that it feels great for you, man. I'm glad. I'm
I'm
glad.
trying, man. It's really weird. Like it's so awkward because I know you'll appreciate this, and I know that you're a man when it comes to like you are the man in this show when it comes to talking about like finances and all the cryptocurrency stuff, and then being up on like being the entrepreneur ideal, right?
Yeah.
And what's really really cool is I've noticed that there's so many people out there that are doing the small side hustles to make a good paycheck, right? I guess that's how you do it. Like so that way
Or
a lot of
just or
people.
just or just or just extra streams of revenue. Like it's
Yeah,
it's always good to have multiple streams of revenue.
Yep. And it's so weird because like I guess like in my mind, I still think like a traditionalist when it comes to that, right? So I always think, oh, well, if you want to be successful, you need to have a pretty solid job because that job is like your income. That's the only way you're going to get real income, and then everything else is extra. But like I've kind of slowly started coming to this idea that you can have, like you said, multiple forms of income that could create a solid source of income for yourself without the stress of just stressing in one job for like 8 or 9 hours. So it's been pretty good to be able to create these opportunities and find ways to kind of make money on my own terms.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It feels great. I'm still working on my puzzle box. I'm super excited about that. I'm now at a part that I have to do the outside work, which is I have to go and film certain parts for the box, which will be edited and then put into the puzzle box. So it's not necessarily left on me anymore as an independent doing all this stuff where I'm like clamoring in my own brain to make things work. So now I'm like literally at a part that I get to reach out and have friends. And I don't know if you guys saw, but I recently made a post that I was looking for a voice actor for the Joker.
I saw that.
And I have a friend of mine and he hit me up and his voice is like identical to Mark Hamill's.
Oh shit.
Which was like, that to me was, I mean, because I got a lot of people that hit me up for, of course, Heath Ledger's voice. And I think Heath Ledger's voice is iconic, but it's not really like a really like hard voice to pull off. So it's like a very just a raspy male kind of meaty, like middle deep tone voice. And you got it pretty good. The only thing is you need to be like constantly licking, right? Because he's always like when he's talking, and that's the only thing that's different about it. So it's the easiest way to explain it. You know how I got these scars? And he's always just licking shit, right? Just licking the microphone, and it's cool.
Can you just stop doing that in my ear?
You ASMR.
It's just not cool.
Boys ASMR, some average ASMR up here. But it was cool, man. It was cool to get hit up by so many people. A lot of people sending me voice like clips, and it was so cool to hear the Joker in so many ways. So, dude, I was super inspired.
So wait, were you just having people like random people just hitting you with their impressions of the
dude,
Joker
I got
and shit?
like 20 messages with people that are like, "Hello,
yo,
Chris."
You should have brought that to the show. You should have recorded it. You should have recorded it and brought it to the show, bro.
It was really, really cool, man. And you know what? It was so out of nowhere. I have so many great people on my friends list that I really appreciate every one of them. Every one of them was willing to come in and try to like help me out and throw it down for me. And then when it just so happened that a fan, not a fan, a good friend of mine that's been on the show with us, Chris from the Flux, he came out and was like, "Yo, I do voices every now and then." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, Chris, man. Like that's awesome. Thanks so much." And then he did his Mark Hamill voice, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I didn't know you had that in you. God damn, that's cool as shit." Mark Hamill's Joker voice is so cool to me. Like I think it's one of the greatest Joker voices ever. I mean, I don't know anyone out there that doesn't like at least put the animated Joker from the cartoon like in the top for best Jokers ever.
I honestly, every time that we have or anytime I ever have a conversation about like the best Joker of all time, he has to be excluded because that's like a cheat code. Like you can't have him in.
He's that amazing though. It's that amazing though. And it's so crazy because like yes, the live action Jokers have all done amazing. But like for some reason, Mark Hamill's interpretation of what the Joker sounds like is like to me like that would be it. Like a tall, skinny, scrawny dude, that would be the guy's voice. And it's so good. So to be able to get that, then I'm gonna have him do a part of the story that Mark Hamill has not been a part in. And then we're just gonna reference this really crazy Easter egg and I'm so excited. I'm literally excited for that. And then we're gonna film it. So we're gonna do a live action. I have a cosplayer that has like the whole New 52 cut off face Joker. He's gonna be doing that scene for me, and I'm really, really excited. It's gonna be great. And then once it's done, we're gonna showcase the shit out of it. And I really, really hope people like it. And then from there, I'm just gonna start venturing on into doing. Hopefully, what I'm gonna do is probably make a second variation of the box, and then have them both at conventions at the same time, and then I'm going to start getting into other ones. So like, let me ask you, you've heard of like escape rooms and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to design an escape room themed on whatever you want, or if you were going to go to an escape room and you were going to go to one specifically designed for what you wanted, what would it be around? Like what theme would it be around?
Walking Dead.
Okay.
The Walking Dead. Yeah.
And would it be like? Well, I mean, generally it's an escape room, right? So it's about getting out. But is it like getting out of a place before the horde comes?
Well, yeah, I think that's what, and this is totally off the cuff. Like that would be the premise of the whole escape room is if you don't solve these puzzles in a certain amount of time,
you're all gonna die.
You're all gonna die. Yeah,
that's awesome,
the horde
dude.
is on your ass.
Yeah. That's a good call, man. That's a good call. I don't know. Maybe there is one. I know that there's one in Vegas that there is the Saw escape room.
Oh,
and they start you off like literally chained to the toilet, and they give you like a saw that you're not really gonna cut your shit off, but like you have to solve the puzzle and then get the key out of the saw. It's really cool. Like it's very interesting the way they implement it. What's up, Vince? Vince Weaver,
What's up, Vince?
VW. Look at that. Got your gang sign right here, dude. VW. It's good to see.
I know. Listen, I know Rob and Vince are in the comments, so I want to know what you guys would do for an escape room. Like, what themes would you guys come up with? I mean, me personally, I would think that a Walking Dead one would just be like money. It would just be.
It would hit.
Money.
Yeah.
Because it would be fucking money, dude.
Like that would be very, very interesting. Of course, it would be like. Would you want it to be based in like the way it was in like the first episode where Rick was trapped in the hospital?
No, it would definitely be a culmination of all the seasons. I definitely would need like a Negan type.
There's our boy Michael Betancourt.
Mike, what's up? I would definitely need like a Negan part of it where you're before he turns like the hero or whatever,
or wherever him and Maggie are gonna make a show.
Exactly. That's like wild, I need the evil Negan to he might even be like the main boss or like at the end of it, like type of thing. Like
so then let me ask, because that's really, really cool. If you were to design an escape room, I'm asking Brian, you my boy Brian.
Yeah.
If you were going to design this Walking Dead escape room, what do you think your budget would be? And would you have actors or would it be all independent? Like where it's just the people coming in?
I think that
like the Negan thing, I think you would need an actor. Like it would be cool to start them off like on their knees, like on the whole scene with Glenn.
Yeah.
And then you have to find a way to like pick the lock and then get out of that area. And then it's like a chase, right? That would be cool.
That's a good question, but I don't know if you necessarily need an actor. You could just probably get like a voiceover and have that playing while they're doing it. So
giving them anxiety.
Exactly. So instead of you having to pay someone to be at a convention or for an entire day, you can just have that voiceover playing over and over and over again for however many people come in and do that shit.
A Confederate in the group is always fun. Yeah, that would be kind of scary as shit, man. I ain't gonna lie.
That would be very scary.
Yeah, you see, and that's interesting because with those kind of things, you can have them do like the more I research this, the more you understand how much like electronics and engineering are kind of like based in all this stuff. So I found out like the stuff that I've been working with is like touch plate triggers, which you'll see when you go to like, if you ever go to like a Spirits, the Halloween store, like they'll have it to where like you walk up to a machine, there's a square on the floor and you stand on it and boom, the machine like automatically reacts to your step. So like you can have it to where like there's a rug in the room or something or a creaked wood, they step on it and all of a sudden that voice like pops off. Or you can have it based on like a lock or a trigger or something like that. Some booties and titties torture. Hey,
wait, what?
Rob, man. Rob, it's not She-Hulk Day anymore, man.
Ever since She-Hulk came out, Rob has just been like on a different.
He's hounding it, man.
Like you need to like relax, my guy. Like you gotta calm down, bro.
He's like, a dude, man. He's excited, man.
She-Hulk has
She-Hulk got everybody excited, man.
Holy shit.
We're gonna be talking about She-Hulk a little bit later, of course. There are some interesting stuff that we got to talk about She-Hulk, though. There really, really is. Rob's a horny man. He's a horny man. He's a horny man all day, every day. Hey, Mike, how's the vendors going over there, man? Oh, a killer.
That's a great one. That's a great one. That's a great one. That's a great one. The
as
pods,
a matter of fact,
like you have like the cotton candy pods hanging up all over the place. Hell yeah, Vince, great call.
As a matter of fact, Brian, I know you're a fan of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, right? Like you're a big fan.
Like,
Are
yeah.
you happy for the traction it's getting right now with like the video game,
Well,
the
yeah.
talk about a
So
remake and all that
yeah,
stuff? Like, are you excited?
I'm very excited because that was one of the first introductions that I remember to, like, I don't want to say horror movies, but like scary movies as a kid. Like, I remember watching that movie, and I've seen that movie like a million fucking times. Um, that movie, it probably doesn't age well like right now, but
Mhm.
I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, I still love that movie.
No,
And
I think those type of movies age well all the time. There's
me,
something
I
about it that
don't.
just keeps it in such a great because I mean, you're not looking for it to be some like award-winning show,
Yeah.
but just like the vibes of it are just they still maintain that thrive. It's like Army of Darkness. I
Okay.
love the shit out of Army of Darkness. It's like my greatest, like, I guess you could call it horror, but it's not really horror, like horror sci-fi. But like I could watch that movie hands down. And it's not even the fact that it's a good movie because it's not, it's just silly, but it's just good. It's like I don't know, good feeling. It's like a good feeling movie. Killer Clowns from Outer Space has that vibe for me also. Same thing like with Gremlins, Tremors, Critters, even Die Hard. Like just those movies, like I don't know if you guys have seen it. But recently, Vanilla Ice had made like a TikTok video, and he talked about how like the '90s were like the greatest time in pop culture because everything revolves around that. Like in the 2000s is when like pop culture kind of died, and then it kind of pushed a little bit, and then it just reverted all back to the '90s and like a little bit into the late '80s. Like everything is revolving around that in culture right now, and it's
I
because it
mean,
was like the pinnacle of pop culture.
because you have to understand the majority of movie demographics are that are they grew up on that.
Mhm.
So like we are the generation that grew up on that. So we are the ones that, are still gonna remember that and still hold those to a higher,
Higher standards
regard.
and stuff.
You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely it's he might be onto something. I kind of wanted to fight that in the beginning, but he might be onto something about
I
that.
mean, because you know what's even funny is like at the very end of the trailer or at the thing he made, he's like, dude, my kids are like 21 and 23. And he has like
Mhm.
another one, I think that's like 18 or something. He's like, and they think I'm like the coolest person in their life. And he just smiled. And I don't know if you guys, oh, excuse me, I don't know if you guys know this, but like nowadays he's into like this really awesome construction work that he does. He's been like a construction guy. He does like landscaping and he does like beautiful landscaping in like LA and all over the place. But like for him to be out there, same thing with like, it's so crazy how like the guys from Jackass are still held like super up here. You look at Steve-O's podcast, and it's probably one of the top-notch podcasts, and it's literally just on the way that he carries himself as a human being. He's a funny guy. He's going to do some crazy stuff. His fashion, like he's just a good-looking person that just goes out and does cool things. Like, I don't know. There's just something about it. The 90s is early 2000s is where everything was at. Video games, films. Dude, video games right now is, I don't even know. It's such in a bad spot. Halo just got done. There's people that are complaining about it, which I don't even know. You guys can tell me this in the comment section if you guys think anything about this. But Halo just dropped that they are removing the split screen capabilities when you have a second player. Is that really like a problem anymore? Like I thought everybody would have been past that. I remember being a gamer back in the day. We hated that shit. It was just necessity because you had friends in the room that wanted to play and you didn't have any way to play with them. But nowadays, like the internet's kind of made it so much more easier that everybody's got their own thing or LAN parties or whatever. Brian, what do you think about that?
I honestly I don't. I'm still trying to figure out where Rob came up with that one because that's a great one, dude. The
What is
Tales
it?
from
Tales
Tales from
from
the
the
Crypt.
Crypt? I didn't even read that.
That would be an
So,
amazing escape room.
so let me tell you guys what I
Amazing.
have planned for the pipeline, right? Because you guys are all coming up with some great ideas, man. I'm not even lying.
Yeah.
The next one that I want to do for sure is a bomb disposal, but I want to make it like a nuclear bomb disposal. So I want to have it to where you have like the keys have to be turned simultaneously. Like things that have to deal with like at least one partner. So real big suitcase wise, all this other stuff. The next one I want to do is I want to do a either Star Wars, which is going to be like the Sith cube or the Sith pyramid. That's going to be like this big old like electronic piece, or the Stranger Things with an upside down where you have to like walk into an opposite room that has everything the same but just backwards, and then you have to solve puzzles between both. And then of course one of my last ones that I want as a masterpiece is going to be a Metal Gear Solid. So I want to do like a Metal Gear where you have to get into a box, you got to shoot dudes with a Nerf gun and put them to sleep. Like everything that you would do in Metal Gear, like I want in this escape room. That will have actors and stuff.
I didn't mean to distract you. You asked me a question about video games, and I love video games. So what were you asking me? I'm sorry, one more time.
So okay, so this past week, big in news, which is super crazy, is that Halo, the industrial, the video game Halo, for their remaster, they're getting rid of the split screen function.
Okay.
So like you have a second person. For me, being an old school gamer, like I'm kind of happy, and I thought they would have all been done with split screen by now. Because back in the day, it was kind of annoying when you had like a younger sibling or a cousin that was like, oh, I want to play. And then you had to split the screen. And I understand that people have big screens now, but back in the day, like having a big screen was like you were royalty back in the fucking day. So like everybody had like, you know, fucking 20 something inch television and you had the split screen. And yeah, everybody's like screen sniping you and watching your shit and then figuring out where you are. Like I kind of feel like that would have been a thing that had been gone a long time ago. But there are people that were like, oh, that's fucked up. Why are you separate or getting rid of the split screen? As a gamer yourself, an old school gamer like me, guys in the comment section too, girls in the comment section, whoever's here, how do you feel about that as a gamer with Halo finally removing the split screen function for a secondary player?
I mean, I'm an old school gamer. I didn't even grow up on split screen, so I can care less. And I'm not even a Halo fan. I'm sorry for everyone in the comments that love Halo. Yeah, I'm not a Halo fan.
What was it about Halo you didn't like?
I just didn't like. I didn't like the anti-gravity shit. Like I just wasn't a fan of like
the jumping, and
I wasn't a fan of it. I liked the first Halo, but then after that, I just didn't care. At that point, Call of Duty was prominent in my life, so I didn't give a shit. Yeah, I didn't give a shit about Halo, if I'm being honest with you.
Damn, that's crazy, man. I'm one of those people that I didn't have an Xbox. I wasn't like an Xbox player. I was a PlayStation player like my whole life, and then PC, of course.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really all that up on Halo, but the story was pretty solid. Minus the fact that like the story in part 2 kind of like was kind of like the same stuff over and over again. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good story, and I thought it would have made a better movie than a video game.
Did you watch the Paramount Plus show?
I saw like the first 2 episodes.
And what was it about it that didn't make you finish?
The reveal of Master Chief so early in the game, or so early in the show. It was like literally the first episode, and he removes his masks. And I understand they brought in a really
that is what turned you off, is that they showed Master Chief.
I mean, it's just they show his real face, right? Like the human being. And for some reason, that was like a trope of the game, where every game that came to an end, you would be like, dude, this guy's such a badass. I wonder what he's like. Like, is he like RoboCop, half a face like Android, or cyborged out, or who is he, or what is he? And then it was always a mystery. He would take off his helmet, and then it'd be like a badass zoom away, and then you see the outside of the ship. You never saw him. It kind of made it to where like anybody could be Master Chief. Like anyone. Like you didn't know who it was, and it didn't matter because it was the suit that was kind of like the thing that made the character. Which I dug it. I liked the mystery of it. And I thought for the television show, for that being something that the video game rode.
You are such a hard critic, bro.
I mean, it's one of those things.
I can't believe that's the reason why you stopped watching the fucking shows, because they showed Master Chief. Did you know that the person that voices Master Chief is the same guy that does like the American EA Gods. Sports? Yeah, dude.
It's the guy from American Gods. That's why I was like, oh shit, they really brought a prominent actor. Now the thing is I know that as an actor.
No. I mean like the voice in the game. You know, like
isn't the guy from RoboCop?
I don't know. It's not the same guy from RoboCop. It's the guy that does the EA Sports. It's in the game. That guy that does that voice,
he's Master Chief.
He does Master Chief's voice. Yeah.
Yeah. But they ended up getting the Irish leprechaun guy from American Gods to be Master Chief. That's the actor that's in the Paramount show.
I didn't watch it.
You didn't see American Gods? I thought you saw American Gods.
Oh no, I watched American Gods.
The Irish guy, the guy that's always bar fighting.
Okay. No, I didn't see the
Paramount one?
Halo
Yeah.
show.
There was an action scene at the very beginning, and the stunt work that's been done, like it was a little wonky too. So I was kind of like, there were things about it that it was just like, this is kind of cheesy. I don't really want to watch it. It was just a retelling of the original video game. I was kind of I already knew that story, but like I said, there was just something about it that it was like, I thought it would have been a better reveal if they would have done the mask thing, like maybe a couple episodes in, and gave it that opportunity where like they're teasing the audience. Like he takes off his helmet and you think you're going to see it, and then credits. And then the next one is like, it starts with the helmet on, the camera goes to the girl, and then all of a sudden it changes and he's putting on his helmet. You're like, fuck, we almost got to see him. Like they just keep teasing it. But like in the 5th or 6th episode, like before, like 2 or 3 before the end, you see the reveal. Like boom, you get it. And you're like, oh fuck, it's that guy, the guy from that show. And how cool, like he did such an amazing job. Like, I don't know. Reveals like that, they're still important to me when it comes to television shows. And I just feel like them doing it in the beginning kind of like sold everything. Because it's like, what else are they going to do on that show that's going to be anything prominent than that? Like, what would you think? Thinking about, because you're not a big fan of Halo.
They have a whole fucking show to show you. It's like they could do anything that could be cool, but because they showed the face of Master Chief in the first episode, you're like, I'm not watching this shit.
But okay, check this out.
That's rough.
If anybody's out there in the comment section and you played throughout all the games and you're a huge fan of the Halo series, do you think it's better of that show that they showed Master Chief like in the first 2 episodes in an 8-episode season?
The better question is, would you care? Would it matter? Would it matter to you?
Yeah, is that a big point or not? That they expose Master Chief's face in the first episodes? That's a good question. We can keep it like that because that makes more sense. For me, that was one of the things that I was kind of like, dang, I wanted the reveal to be later. I think it's a bigger action. And then past that, I just didn't really watch it. Like I saw like 2 or 3 episodes. I was fire sticking it anyways. I didn't even have it. Robert says the face he asked because he never got to see his real face in the game. It was mysterious. You see, that was a point. Oh, Robert, I think you're gonna have to rewrite that sentence though. I'm gonna call your English teacher, man. She's gonna fail you for that one. You better rewrite that shit. But yeah, you see, it's like a mysterious thing. But yeah, I didn't really get to watch it too much. You didn't get to watch it either. We didn't even cover that shit when it came out. I think I talked about it like 2 episodes.
And it got really shit reviews, to be honest with you. So even if I wanted to watch it, bro, like I wasn't gonna watch it.
You know what fucking aches me though?
Tell me.
Every time I hear these motherfuckers shit on something, it makes me want to watch it. Does that get you?
No, it gets me the fact that you are the toughest critic. You are literally the toughest critic that I know, and I thought I was bad.
No, but
you are the toughest critic I know. But so you know I'm shocked that anyone can waver you on what you're going to do about.
But you know what though? I'm not gonna go and leave a bad review. Like I'm gonna let other people, because in my opinion, like I may not like something.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna go try and waver the majority of people because my feelings are hurt.
But that's their job. And I don't think it's because their feelings are hurt. I think they honestly, genuinely feel like it's a piece of shit. Yeah. But I don't, but that's their job, is to waver people or to give their opinions
their reviews
on
on
the reviews. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's just one of those things. Like, I mean, I have my own personal opinion on stuff, but I'll give my exact opinion on where I feel something wavers, but then I'm still going to give it a chance though. Like, I mean, of course we're going to talk about it. Oh, you know what? Like, it's like Miss Marvel. Okay. Miss Marvel had a lot of people up and down in different sections and shit like that. I still went through the entire show. And the only thing is I'll like say, hey, you know what? Like, I didn't like that CG.
Let me ask you a question. If you didn't have to come in here every week to talk about it on your show, would you have watched it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, most definitely, because I'm a fan of that shit. Like, I'm a fan of comic books. I'm a fan of that stuff. I still want to see it. Dude, if She-Hulk, if it wasn't good or if it was bad, I would still watch it because I'm a fan.
Okay. Because
I'm still going to get past it. That's why, like, I mean, Ant-Man. I do not like Ant-Man. Like, and I know there's people that like him, there's nothing wrong with that.
Now, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Why don't you like Ant-Man? What about it? I know I have my feelings on it. But what
I think it
what
was
don't
just
you
one
like
of
about
those
it?
things, like his character set, like his powers in the series. In the comics, they use him a lot more interestingly.
Okay.
He's more of like this intergalactic James Bond character that can travel between like realms, and he goes and he spies on other like realms. He's kind of like Mr. Wonderful in the DC universe. I don't know if you know who that character is.
Mr. Wonder. No, I don't.
He's is it Mr. Wonderful? I'd have to see. Let me check a picture real quick. It should be Mr. Wonderful. Let me see. Mr. Wonderful.
But what about it anyway? What
Um
about that point?
I mean, in the show, like in the movies, he's just like a comic relief. He gets small and gets big, and he punches hard when he's smaller. Like other than that, like the only thing they really use him for that he benefits in a story is like the butt flick, or them using him for like I need you to tip over this can and drop it on the electronics and short out the system, and then everyone else is gonna go in and do some badass shit. So they're just like boop, he falls in or it gets big or small, and like that's it. In the comic books, there's a lot more science involved, a lot more like differences, and the way they use his powers is kind of interesting. I just don't think they found it yet, and I'm really hoping that the next movie they're really gonna like they're gonna do some cool shit with his powers. Like he'll be able to like jump in and out of realms like the way Kang is, and then you'll realize like that Kang's technology is from the 31st century, and it's Pym particles that he's been using. So he's like even a bigger master of his power set. So
For sure. For sure. I honestly, Vince just left a comment. He said for
Mr.
sure
Terrific. I'm sorry.
he said for sure some people will hate on the new Last of Us
Oh
series.
yeah.
Now, see, I hope you're wrong about that because I'm a huge fan of The Last of Us. And I'm gonna give it a shot no matter what.
Hell
I'm
yeah,
probably
dude.
gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it to
Gabriel,
the
Gabriel Luna's in it. I'm gonna fucking love that show. I already
I'm
love
gonna
that show.
watch it. I'm gonna watch it to the end no matter what. And they're gonna have to do some, and I don't they're gonna have to do some really egregious shit for me to be like, oh, this show sucks.
Like
Cause
it
like
sucks, yeah.
I don't understand how you can fuck this up. Personally, I don't see how you can
The
fuck it up.
layups there, because I mean it's all laid out in the video game.
Yeah. And there's such a niche group of people that love it that we're just gonna we're gonna champion it anyway. So I hope you're wrong about that, Vince.
The cast is so far amazing. Pedro
It's good.
Pascal, Gabriel
Yeah.
Luna's in it. Not really sure who the female is, but the pictures of them all together looks very good. I think what Robert might be or Vince might be talking about is a lot of that residual backlash that it got from the second iteration of The Last of Us 2, which was all the stuff that they added in, which a lot of people didn't care for or didn't like. But those type of people are the ones that make me want to watch it even more.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how people can like just keep grudges off of some shit that they have no investment in.
I don't think that's what he means. I think that what he means is like there's such a I don't want to say diehard, but again, it's such a niche group of people that love that game that they're going to be very critical about certain things and certain aspects that the show may take liberties with that don't align with what the game is. And I just want people to give it a shot. Like
Big John Corpus Christi in the house. What's up, John Castillo?
It's definitely just a video game that, you know, just give it a shot.
But yeah, you're bringing up that's a really, really great point, is that nowadays you look at a lot of these fan bases and a lot of them are super toxic. So you're saying like there's a possibility that these people may take some liberties with some stuff, change some things, and the fan base could just go fucking nuts, dude.
No, that is 1,000. That is 1,000% what's gonna happen, and that's what Vince is talking about. It's like it's 1,000% that's what's gonna happen because that's the climate that we're living in. It happens with every show that we watch, and it's definitely gonna happen with this series, and it sucks. I just want people to give it a shot because
it's kind of like what so Lord of the Rings, Ring of Powers dropped, and apparently the numbers for the critics are at like I want to say like 84. And the audience is like at 30 something. And I haven't seen it yet. I don't think you've seen it either, right?
I have not, no.
Yeah, I haven't had the chance to see it. I want to watch it. But apparently what they did was on Amazon, they removed the opportunity for people to leave reviews. They just cut it. They were just like, fuck it. We don't need your reviews. We're going to just fucking play the movie. If you like it, you don't, get out of here or whatever. Like they kind of did that, but I don't know how it is on Rotten Tomatoes. But Robert says they are shitting bad reviews. They're shitty bad reviews on Lord of the Rings and Ring of Power show that just came out last night. Yeah, we knew that was coming. There was a lot of people that were in disdain about it in the first place because the show is taking interpretations, changing Tolkien's thing up a little bit. And a lot of people aren't happy, a lot of the original fan base. And that's what we're talking about, where a lot of this fan base, they don't have there's no leadway to get these people to kind of be open-minded.
So at the moment, the Rotten Tomatoes is 84% critic, 84% critic, fresh tomato, but 34% audience score.
See, and that's because I had just seen that shit like fucking 5 or 6 hours ago. So it's been sitting at that for a while. So I really don't know how to interpret that. Of course,
you can interpret it by the people who say it sucks. 34% Rotten Tomato. People are hating this shit. Yeah. 34%. Like, do you understand how hard that is?
That's really fucking rough.
That sucks. Yeah, that sucks.
But that makes me want to see it even more. Like, I don't know
why. The description. Well, not even the description, but just the range from 84
from 84 to 30. Yeah.
Holy
that's a big fucking gap, man. That's huge. And then
like that doesn't even make sense. Like that doesn't even make sense. Like how can the critics be so high on something and then the average audience that are more fans of this?
And what's the number on the fan review? Like, does it give you the number of how many people have voted?
Yes,
4,000. That's what I saw earlier.
It doesn't. Hold on one second. It doesn't give me an exact number on Rotten Tomatoes. Usually it does. Usually it says how many people voted, but no, it doesn't give me. Doesn't say. Which is weird.
Robert, I remember seeing that in the post yesterday. Apparently, Jeff Bezos' son like came to him and was like, "Dad, don't fuck up Lord of the Rings." It's not even his show, man.
Yeah,
he just has it on Amazon. He's like, "Dad, don't fuck up the show." Can you imagine that? The dude who owns Amazon, he's like, "I don't know what the fuck. What are you talking about, man? Like, I'm just trying to ride an airplane in space, kid."
I was gonna say this guy is in fucking. He's on Mars, bro. Like,
yeah, dude, not worried about Lord of the Rings right now. He doesn't even know what that is, man.
At all.
Yeah, it's very awkward and it's weird as fuck to see the critics. And it's cool because we usually have this guy that comes into the comment section, Darius, that comes in, and I believe he's like maybe from another country. I kind of feel like he's from the UK. And he usually talks about the Lord of the Rings stuff in the comment sections with us, but he's not in yet. So hopefully that dude's okay, man. But I'm gonna probably watch this movie this weekend and give you guys at least some type of heads up on the weekend. Give a little video, a little post. I'll do it like the new Rockstars guy when he said he got out of Thor, Love and Thunder and was like crying and thought it was like the best thing since sliced bread. Like I'm gonna shit on that guy for the rest of his life, dude. Because man, as a matter of fact, getting into our regular conversation today, I remember the hype the critics gave Thor, Love and Thunder. Right? At first, we were all kind of like,
easy.
It was something. It was something.
Easy.
But it was a fun movie, but minus what it was supposed to be, it wasn't exactly what it was meant to be. But a lot of the hype was that it's the best thing. You know, Gore was an amazing character. The comedy was awesome. I really wasn't a big fan. Now to hear that just yesterday or the day before, Taika Waititi has made a comment saying that he is not coming back for Thor 5.
Now, before you continue, I want your opinion on this. Do you think he's being serious, or do you think he's just being Taika and trolling him like he usually does?
I think he's 100% serious. I think he's just done. I think he went out there with a
plan. Why? Because the numbers came back, or because the reviews were so bad?
Yeah, I think for like the way people kind of like came out with it, and he had like I mean, because you remember he had a serious comment that he was like, I know what the people want. I know what they want to see, but I'm not going to give it to them because it's going to be based on this, and then it's going to be funny. You watch. And dude, the majority of the comments, and this is just being very just general, is everyone was like, dude, that was way too much comedy. Like that was bad. And then you end up getting it to where Thor, Love and Thunder is now rated below Dark World, which I personally think that's a travesty. I think Dark World was not a good movie. with the way that they use their characters in the story itself. It didn't make any sense for like that world-ending event in the Avengers not to at least come and give this dude a hand, like in the middle of like Britain or whatever the fuck he's at in a library. Like no one showed up to help this guy.
I want to make a bet with you. I want to make a bet with you right now. I'm going to stop you right in your tracks. I'm going to make a bet with you on camera right now. I will bet. Well, we have to figure out what we're going to bet. I bet that Taika is trolling and that he will 1000% come back for this next movie.
Okay. I mean, I'll put it down. I'll put a bet down.
We could do like a case of like Monster or whatever.
Yeah, or
like,
I like
like that.
Kickstart.
Mountain Dew. We can do a case of that. We can do a case of that. Yeah, I like the is it the purple one?
Yeah,
or the orange one.
The orange. I have literally both of those. Like this one, and I have an orange one in the fridge.
I think the orange one is the one I like. Yeah,
my two favorite flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a case of that for sure. Okay, so you think he's just trolling and he's not going to come back?
Yeah, 1000%. I think he's just trolling because that's what he does. This is what he does. This is the kind of weird character that he is. He likes to troll.
Yeah, he does like weirdness. Like,
yeah,
I even tried to watch What They Do in the Shadows like recently.
Yeah.
That show's nuts, dude. It's so nuts, and it's 100% his comedy. Like, I get it. Like, I get him as a comedy writer.
We have come too far between Ragnarok and now Love and Thunder. I don't see a situation where Chris Hemsworth does not go to Kevin Feige and say, I'm not doing another movie unless Taika Waititi is attached to it.
But you know what? Like I get that, and I know that.
Do you understand? Do you understand how different the movie's going to be if Taika Waititi is not attached to it? So it's like, why would you? I don't know. I don't know how you sell that to your cast. I don't see how that happens.
I think the reason why Taika Waititi would walk away from this is because he's just bored of it. Like, he's kind of restricted to being like, well, you can only work with these characters. And he really doesn't like to write for those kind of characters. They're not really in his forte of people that he likes to create. He likes them more grounded. You know, the way that he did Thor in Thor Ragnarok and then Thor and Thor Love and Thunder, where like it was almost like the character going backwards in intelligence.
But he's not writing anything. He's just directing. He's not writing anything. He's just directing.
He has to put the story down, and then the screenwriters write it for him. Like, he has to come with a story.
That's what I'm saying. He's not writing anything. He's basically just setting the grounds for shit. I mean, I get what you're saying. But
I think he's just bored of it. That's what I think.
I don't know. Maybe.
But you can see that, right? Because like I don't know if you saw like any of the interviews of Thor Love and Thunder, but he just looked like he was just like, it's Chris Hemsworth. He's cool. Like, yeah, Natalie Portman. Yeah, Thor, whatever the fuck, Korg. Like, yeah, whatever. Like, there was like a part of him that just didn't care. I think he showed up to most of his like things drunk. Like, this dude was like on fire. Like, if you ever go back, look at Tessa Thompson with him. Like, Tessa Thompson looks like she almost looks as anxiety driven as Don Cheadle did with Mark Ruffalo in all his interviews when they were trying to get him to stop giving secrets and shit. Did you ever see Don Cheadle's interviews with Mark Ruffalo?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and Don Cheadle is just like, you could tell that dude was like, man, you're gonna have to pay me extra to be with this dumb fuck. Like that's kind of like the way Tessa Thompson looked hanging out with Taika Waititi, man. Like, she just looked like there was.
I saw it. I saw what you're talking about. I didn't get that from it, but you might be right. But I do think that Chris Hemsworth would definitely want, if he had a pick, he would definitely want Taika Waititi as the director for this next. I mean, it's gonna be a trilogy. There's only one left in the rest of this trilogy, so let him finish it out.
I'd be down for it. I mean, if he was willing to come back, and hopefully he's kind of like, hey, you know what? Like, yeah, people didn't like the last movie. I guess I'll kind of make this one, since it's going to be the last movie. Let's make it like hit harder, give it a little bit more action, a little bit more of a strong, serious undertone. Like,
and not only that, but again, and I hate to keep bringing this up, but they made this movie during the pandemic. This would be his first opportunity with like gloves off. He gets to go out there heavy now. There was a lot of red tape that had to be worked around. Anyone that knows that this movie had already, through like the rumor mills, had been said that it was just a mess because it was just like there's so many versions of this movie. It got cut last
Yeah, there was a
minute.
shitload of cut shit, right?
It's a lot of shit that was going on. So I don't blame that on Taika Waititi. I think that when you say that he was bored, I don't think he was bored. I think he was just working with what he was dealing with.
Yeah, the
So
limitations.
I think that if you give him a fresh start, and I could just be talking out of my ass just because I'm championing for this and I wanna combat you on this and just want to have
No, I mean I
the
know you're a
opposing
fan of
side on
Taika.
this.
Like
But
I know
I
you really dig his stuff.
I definitely would like to see him come back for at least one more, and then
Yeah,
he can
I
go
mean
do whatever he wants
you
to
bring
do.
a strong point. Like I don't think it was fair for what he had to deal with. Like I don't think like with the stigma of all this stuff about the coronavirus and everything they had to deal with, like it's not fair to be like, hey, we want you to make a great film like you did the first time, but
Yeah.
you can't do this, and they just list a bunch of things you cannot do. Oh, the actor can't come, so he's got to send you this shit on TikTok, or he's got to do this on, he's got to film it in his own room. Like I 100% agree with that. Like if he wants to come back in Thor 5, I don't see why he wouldn't. Because that would be like, well, it would be like the same thing that happened to Ryan Johnson when he made The Last Jedi or whatever. Like he deserved that opportunity to come back and fix all the shit that he made a continuation for the next film. Because in the second film for Star Wars, there was a lot of things he decided to like throw in last minute, make it like, oh, what's going to happen now, folks? And then have to come back to that in the next film and make it all make sense. Right. So like with this one, like, yeah, he does have that thing where he has to show growth in the character. And from what he did with, I mean, dude, Thor Ragnarok, best fucking Thor film ever. Like, hands down, best film Thor.
It's the best MCU movie ever.
I'm going to have to, I mean, no, I'm not for me, but Thor wise, it blew it out of the water. There's no way any of those, that's like the Avatar of all the Thor movies.
Take out, what is it? The Avengers movies? No. It's better than Winter Soldier. I had Winter Soldier. As first, but Thor Ragnarok is better than that. You take out the Avengers movies, and honestly, well, no, I can't say that because Thor Ragnarok is definitely an Avengers movie, kind of. But yeah, you take out like the Avengers movies, Endgame, Infinity Gauntlet, whatever. You take those movies out, 1000% Ragnarok is my favorite movie.
Okay. I mean, well, that's good. I mean, it's up there. I'm not going to lie. Like that's one of the top films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For me, mine's a little bit more, I lean more on the Winter Soldier movie. I think for me, that one had just the right amount of action, the right amount of emotion, the right amount of just story driven and everything else. I think that was, for me, that was top. But I mean, Thor Ragnarok for me is top at least 5 in the Marvel Universe. There's so many right now. I can't even think of all of them in my head. You know what I mean? There's so many Marvel films, but most def. I have to go back because this is a great question, though. If and with the talks of Taika Waititi leaving, which director or directors do you think have the opportunity to come in and do a really great Thor film?
I don't know. I want it's like Taika Waititi or bust for me.
For real? Like, so you don't see anybody else coming in and doing like
who else? I mean, I mean. What's the guy from Guardians?
James Gunn.
I think maybe James Gunn off the top of my head, where you put like a gun to my head, but like I'm Taika Waititi or bust. Like who else did you get for this? Because you have to understand, like they have built like a theme, they built like a style. So who do you feel comfortable taking the mantle for that and taking it to the next level? I don't see many people because Taika Waititi is such a weird cat. Like he's got his own style. I don't know who I trust in doing that.
Hear me out.
I'm not gonna like it.
What if we go like to like a sharp, serious tone? Like,
but that's not where
he's a father figure.
Why though? Chris Hemsworth is so funny. He's a funny guy. I like Ragnarok because he's funny. Why? And it works. So why fuck that up?
So, okay. So let me ask you then, which Chris Hemsworth do you prefer? The Thor Chris Hemsworth or the Extraction Chris Hemsworth?
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
The TV show, the Russo brothers, the one that they made where he was a soldier.
Oh, the Extraction. Okay. Damn, what's that next Netflix movie that just came out with Chris Hemsworth in it, and he's like the doctor
The
for
Gray Man?
no, that's not.
Oh, no, you're talking about the psychiatric one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't seen it, but I fucking want to though.
Yo, that movie's fucking dope.
Is it
And
good?
it's really good.
I saw a trailer for it and I was like, oh shit, this looks good.
Chris Hemsworth is funny in that. Like, that's the Chris Hemsworth I want to see and that's a kind of like a serious kind of movie, but he's funny in it. And like, that's the Chris Hemsworth that I've grown to love. We've seen the serious Chris Hemsworth in the first 3 Thors, and those movies are in the first 2. Spiderhead. Yes, that movie.
That movie looks fantastic though, dude.
I've seen the serious Chris Hemsworth, and I'm not interested in that. Like, that doesn't move me. I don't like that. I like the carefree, funny Chris Hemsworth. That works for me. And I don't want to go back to the serious Chris Hemsworth.
So right now, are you preferring like the comical, like with the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe that we get? Like, do you prefer that for like the cosmic world for the Marvel universe?
This is I do, because at the end of the day, this is a comic book movie. I want the action, I want the comedy, and if I don't want that, then I can watch something from DC. DC will fucking drama you to death all fucking day. So if you want fucking drama and you want seriousness, go watch a fucking Batman.
You gotta finish a film first, man.
I'm not, like, I don't watch Marvel movies, especially a Chris Hemsworth and Taika Waititi movie, for seriousness. I don't need that. I have a plethora of movies that I can choose from if I want that.
Okay.
I want to fucking laugh. I want to laugh, and I want to fucking be entertained, and I want some dope action in it. And that's what they give me.
So you really do dig the silliness of the cosmic Thor that Taika Waititi brings.
Absolutely. It works for me.
Cool, man. Cool. There's a part of me like for what they did in Thor Ragnarok, I think that was very fun to build the Marvel landscape. And then of course what helps is that James Gunn kind of runs the cosmic universe the same way. Yeah. So like if it's not on Earth, everything is like hyper colorful, super radiant with like pinks and purples and like neon colors. Like space is like synthwave 80% of the day in the cosmic landscape of Marvel, which I dig. There would be a very nice change of pace to have like a Ridley Scott, like maybe the Russo brothers, like coming in to do like a section of a Thor film. Like that's what I was kind of hoping for the Gore the God Butcher story, because that's such an interesting radiating story. Like it's radiant when it comes to how like episodic and how Shakespearean the character of Gore the God Butcher was. Of course, we didn't get it, and we got what we got, and it's there now. But where do we go from here with the Thor story? Because like I myself, being a Thor fan, like I don't really know what they're gonna do next. Like other than the Loki story, the Gore the God Butcher story, they kind of did the God Bomb, but they didn't really go through with it. They're for me, I don't know what arc they're gonna follow next with the daughter, and I don't even know about the daughter part. Like that's crazy. So I guess it all determines on what they're going to bring to the story next. Like this, the arc that they're going to bring. Having it to be a comedy again, I would be cool about it. But I need just a little bit more, like they can do like all this silly stuff, but just a little bit more seriousness, just a little bit, to where it actually builds the characters. Like I need to see growth. Like makes sense. Growth. That's it. Like that's the only thing is like, I didn't feel like Thor grew at all during that movie. Like, and that's the thing that sucks. Is I feel like he stayed the same from Thor Ragnarok into Thor Love and Thunder, and then just stayed like constant, like stagnant at that. And I can't have it be where if they do a third trilogy of his character like this and he stays the same. Like,
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Did you feel the same way with Thor in Endgame?
Oh no, man. He was like, it was daunting to see him like that. You could feel his like remorse throughout the entire film. Like his whole character development, and that was so like, I guess it was like, I mean, I felt relative because I'm at an older. I mean, you and me were at older ages. Sometimes you feel like the whole unworthy aspect. I think they hit it very well in that movie.
But he was still he had his funny. He still had his funny.
He still had his comedy parts. Yeah, he still had his funny, and it was good. Like he did very well, even in a serious film. they were able to still knock out some really good funny.
So I'm not
moments.
trying to deviate from that. So yeah, maybe
Okay.
you may be on something. Maybe he doesn't need to be as funny, but to make him
Oh,
any
not make him like super dry, dude. No,
no, but
I don't want yeah.
for me personally, you can have your own opinions about this,
Yeah.
but for me personally, I think Endgame is about as serious as I want my Thor
Yeah.
from now on. And that was just
Sorry
like
about
scraping, like even in his depression,
He was
even
hilarious.
he was fucking funny,
He
bro.
was fucking his comedy like timing is it's so good. It's
So
so spot on.
that's what I would like moving forward. If we get a serious one, I'll take it. But I'm used to this one, and this is the one that, because again, we had the serious one.
Mhm.
We had the
Yeah,
first
that
two
was like the
Thor
first
movies.
movie.
The first two Thor movies were him serious as fuck. And what happened? Those are probably one of the worst MCU movies of all fucking time, bro.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's true.
so you're asking me if I want to go back to that? Fuck no.
No.
Fuck
Like
that.
having it to where like because the thing is like when you go back to Infinity War and Endgame, in those two stories, you feel like his pain. You feel his remorse. You feel the loss of his mother. You feel the loss of Loki. You feel all of it. You feel everything about that character. Like it's almost like from the very beginning of the first film, like we are witnessing all of this on Thor's life.
Yeah.
Because like all the other characters come in and stuff like that, but the first thing you do is you lose Loki. You know, the Hulk gets chopped out of nowhere, like just systematically gets taken out. But like all of the people get killed. The Heimdall gets stabbed. Like you feel all that remorse. And then he has to go back, talk about Jane Foster because she had a part of the Infinity Stones in her. Talks about his ex-girlfriend. Talks about being on Fortnite playing, people picking on him, hanging out with Korg and Meek. Later on, you know, he has to see his mom again. And everyone around him is kind of like they're already coped with this, and he's still coping with all of it. And it's such an interesting thing because in his coping, he uses that humor to kind of blanket his emotions. And I don't know, I do the same thing where I kind of crack jokes rather than let people see that I'm what is it that I'm kind of like open or emotional. I'll try to crack jokes to keep people away from asking me questions about how I really feel. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like it was super relatable with that character during that whole entire performance. And I just feel like in the last film where they had it where like, you know, the axe was he was jealous of the hammer and like, you know, Jane Foster was there and he was kind of like I do like the little banter that Jane Foster and her had. I mean that Jane Foster and Thor had where like they would lose each other in words in sentences while they were trying to convey like conversation because that's very reminiscent of what they did in Dark World. I thought that was super cool. Like there was a lot of cool things, but it's just I think Taika Waititi was just like, yo, I'm gonna hit him with the comedy like they've never seen. And I was like, this is a little too much for me. Just a little bit. But now next movie, like if they can just pull back the comedy a little bit and bring it back just a little bit more Thor Ragnarok style, I'm 100% behind that shit. 100%. Cool. And I hope Taika Waititi really isn't out now. I really hope he's not because like you said, like I really think he deserves a third. If people think that he did bad in the second one and he feels like, hey man, you know what? Maybe they're right. Well, come back, do the third and show people what you got because we know what you're capable of. All the other films that he's done in his career like are amazing, minus Green Lantern. Like minus Green Lantern, but he didn't like that shit either. So he knows. But he deserves it, man. He needs to come back. So I hope he comes back. I hope it's not like for sure. What else do we got? We got DC Fandom. Let's get to this real quick because this isn't really a big talking point. So DC Fandom gets canceled. Big, crazy talking point online. Everyone's like, oh man, DC getting fucked and all this other stuff. Yeah, DC, yeah. And it's like, wait a minute. Bro, what are they going to show at this thing? If they were even going to have a DC Fandom. First off, Brian, what's DC Fandom?
DC Fandom is basically like the equivalent of the D23 that
it's like a virtual
Disney, like it's like a thing that you can buy tickets to and you can go as a fan and find out what's next for DC and see trailers, and it's basically again their answer to Disney's D23.
Straight. And how do we feel? So we've heard recently that DC has canceled DC Fandom. How do we feel about this? How do you feel about this?
Well, you said it yourself, dude. Like, they don't have anything to show, so I'm just curious as to why this wasn't done in the first place. As soon as Zaslav took over, that should have been like one of his first announcements. Like, there's not going to be a DC Fandom because all of the projects that we're going to be doing, we're scrapping. So we literally have nothing to show you guys. So don't get your hopes up. Don't think you're buying tickets. Don't start buying hotel rooms. You guys aren't coming. We're not having one. And for it to come out now, is a little bit weird. But I guess if you saw the writing on the wall, you knew that it wasn't gonna happen. Like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna fucking show you another Black Adam trailer. Like, what exactly are they gonna show you?
Even with that, man, like I don't think there's anything left of the Black Adam trailer they need to show us. They just need to give us the fucking movie already.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing left to show. There's no reason to have a whole convention when there's nothing to show. So
yeah, there's nothing to show.
Honestly, I don't know again why they took so long, but it doesn't honestly, and there's nothing that they have. All right, let's say this. Let's say they didn't scrap any of these shows, any of these movies. Were you really looking forward to any of these shows or any of these movies that they were coming out with?
No, most definitely. There's really nothing that's on the block that I'm like DC, yeah. Like
even on the things that they chopped and canceled, the Batgirl movie, the Supergirl movie, whatever shows they were gonna have,
none of those were like really.
No one was looking for them. So like,
nothing.
Even if they didn't cancel them and they had them for the DC Fandom, would you have been excited for it anyway?
I don't think so, man. Like, there's really nothing that was coming out right now at the moment. I think we even saw that weird trailer for like, I think it was called Gotham Knights. Like, it was some really weird series that they were coming out with, like Batman's son and Joker's daughter. And
can you imagine? Could you imagine? I'm sorry to cut you off, but could you imagine them putting out that lineup of trailers? Meanwhile, you have Disney that is about to blow shit out the water next week.
Yeah, I think. Look, to me, in my opinion, when I heard that was the news point that people were like, "Oh man, DC Fandom got canceled," I was like, "Great, that's fantastic." This is a move in the right direction, people. Like,
absolutely.
There's no reason, and I get it, man. There's some really weird motherfuckers out there that are like, "No, man, they need to release the Batgirl movie because it's like, no, they don't, dude. No, they definitely do not need to release that. If they release it, look, how would you feel in like 1 year? You're shopping around, you go to Walmart, and there's the $5 bin, and boom, Batgirl's there. Like, they didn't really announce that shit. They just put in a $5 bin at Walmart.
Yeah.
Like, would that upset you? Like, there's going to be some motherfuckers that are like, $5 bin, that's fucked up. And it's like, bro, they weren't going to release this bitch to begin with. Like, be happy they're at least charging $5 and someone's buying it. Like, they're going to make some money out of it sooner or later. Watch, I guarantee when we're all old people, this is going to be one of those films that DC reaches back in their vaults and shows like on a Saturday morning cartoon episode. Like, hey guys, remember that Bat film that got made and we didn't really scrap it. And if you want to watch it, join our premium service for $3 and come and watch Batgirl for the first time. And everyone's going to clamor at it. It's going to be super amazing. And people are going to be so excited. It's going to suck. But they'll keep it and they'll make their money from it sooner or later. Or you watch, DC's petty like this. In like 8 months, someone's gonna leak the entire fucking movie out. The entire Batgirl movie is gonna be on Fire Stick somewhere. Someone's gonna be like, "Oh, I leaked the entire movie because fuck the higher ups and fuck corporate America, and here's the entire Batgirl movie they didn't want you to see. Go love it and make everybody watch it."
You know what's funny about that? I still don't think it would generate any traction.
No one's gonna give a shit. They're gonna be showing it at like fucking everybody's refrigerator advertisement on Facebook for no reason and shit. Like,
yeah, I don't think it's gonna gain any traction. Even if it were leaked, I don't think anyone would give a shit. But I'm reading this article about the timeline of the DC over the past year. And it does say that although there will be no DC fandom in 2022, there is no indication that they won't be back in 2023, but
Mhm.
they are focusing on like personal conventions. So when it comes to like
Okay.
the New York Comic Con, they do plan on being at New York Comic Con in
You see,
October.
like, and that's the thing. Like, everything's been sounding so negative about it, but like, that's the thing is like DC fandom is more of like a virtual thing. Like, they kind of pushed it more. If I'm not mistaken, I think they started fandom in like 2019 because of the pandemic. And that's what they've kind of been pushing on. And I think with the little bit that they gave us at San Diego Comic Con this year would kind of technically be the first time that they went out in public and gave the people like a in person, like a meetup kind of thing. And yeah, it was kind of small, and Marvel's been going out there and doing amazing things as Marvel always does. But I think like, I mean, we've talked about it before, and so have everybody else, that they're like, yo, DC doesn't need to compete with Marvel. They need to just do their own thing, go at their own pace, and just work at their stuff. And I don't know why people are freaking out if they're finally doing that. I think it's good. Like I'm 100% okay with them canceling out DC fandom. I think they need to work out all their kinks first.
Vince, I will pay for that series. I would actually pay through a paywall. I would pay through a
Ezra Miller
paywall.
gone wild, dude.
I would pay top dollar to see that.
I've come to terms with thinking that Ezra Miller is just like the best method actor ever. And that's why he's learning to be the reverse Flash as we speak.
Can I
Like,
just say something now that somebody, I mean, it was inevitable.
someone broke the silence and broke the
I was
Ezra
gonna
Miller
I was
wall.
gonna say like it was inevitable. We can't go a week without someone making an Ezra Miller comment or
Yeah,
whatever.
dude.
But like I owe Mike Betancourt an apology on air because he looks like he may be right. Maybe maybe this apology that Ezra Miller gave, it looks like it's going to get through and it's going to get the movie released now. But with that being said, there was a poll that you posted, my friend, in our chat where 42%, right? 42% of US Americans said that they want the movie to be canceled. The Flash movie. They want that
Wow.
to be canceled.
That's still a high number, man.
It's a very high number. So that's half. Literally,
That's
that's half
literally
of the
half, dude.
people. Half the people that you polled had said no, we want this movie canceled. So although it still may come out, which would give Michael Betancourt the win in that column with our discussion, but it still leans towards my argument and being said that you know what, like the damage has already been done. Like you're gonna put this movie out, and half the people in the United States don't want to see it. So how would you figure you're gonna make money off of this movie?
Can
In
I add to
addition,
that?
go please.
Brian, if that movie was coming out and it was gonna hit theaters, would you go watch it?
Me personally, no.
Yeah. You wouldn't go watch it? Like at all. You wouldn't be at all concerned about, you know what, I'm gonna go check this movie out.
It's one of those things where I will probably wait to hear what you say about it,
Oh, sweet. Sweet.
and then I'll go watch it. But I wouldn't pre-order my tickets, and no,
Okay.
absolutely not. No.
So it wouldn't have even been something that you were like, I mean, yeah, everybody was
No.
casually excited for it.
No, that's not true. I was championing. If you remember, I was
Yeah, yeah.
championing this movie.
I
I
remember.
had said that I had
It's gonna be
said
the
from the
greatest thing,
beginning.
man.
This is
It's
supposed
gonna be
to
the winner.
reset. Yeah, this is supposed to reset. Everyone was looking forward to Aquaman and all these other. And I said, this is the one.
Dude,
This
that
is the
reminds me too, man. Did you hear about the fucking Black Mantis actor? Black Manta actor? He came out and was like Aquaman, like when they asked him about it, he was like, "Oh yeah, that was just me clown acting or whatever." Like he just said it was like the fucking stupidest movie he's ever been in while being in the movie and getting paid for it. He's like, "Oh, that's just clown acting or whatever." Like he literally just shit all over the acting of that film. That was wild. I'm sorry, that's such a side set, too, but I was
no, but he's not wrong. I mean, if you think about everything he's done since then, they've all been pretty serious. Like
he's a fucking G, man. That actor's so good.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
so when you put him in Aquaman, yeah, he's kind of just fucking around now, honestly.
Yeah, he was like no holds bar. He's like, yeah, it was all a clown show for me, dude. It was all right. I was just getting paid millions of dollars to be a fucking clown. I was like, dude, that guy's super hard, man. That they're really trying with that movie. Jason Momoa thinks he's really Aquaman.
That movie made $1 billion. So regardless on what the guy said, it doesn't make a difference. They made they made a fucking $1 billion. It could be as funny as you fucking want it to be, or as silly as you want it to be.
He was an amazing fucking character in that show.
That shit made $1 billion.
He was a fucking standout in that film, dude. I ain't gonna lie.
42% people said fuck that movie.
For The Flash or this one?
Yeah, for The Flash.
Oh yeah, straight.
That's a wild number. Like that's a really wild number for there to be a stat like that out there, and then you just spearheading this movie straight to this movie's gonna tank.
Oof.
It's gonna tank, bro.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that watch My 600-Pound Life, dude. Like, there's a lot of people that watch Catfish. They like the drama. Like,
but there's because there's drama in the
real life.
Because there's drama in what you're watching. There's no drama in
there's no drama in the movie.
There's no drama in the movie. There's drama outside the movie that we've already seen, and it's tired. Like maybe if all this happened closer to the movie dropping, I can understand that. But it's already going to be set. Now, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. I'm one of those people that I kind of like, I'm a dualityist, right? Like I kind of like stick to my guns, and for what Ezra Miller's done, like I'm not really about supporting his ass, man. Like I'm not really about getting fucking money put in this guy's pocket. I hope he fucking like, there was a part of me that wanted him to sit in jail for the shit that he's done.
But you just said that you would go see this movie though.
No, I asked you if you would.
Would you?
No, fuck no, dude. I'm not gonna go. Dude, I barely watch James Gunn films, dude. Like that's because he just released a couple of weird ass tweets.
For sure, will not cosplay as the Flash to see the Flash movie. Well done.
Vince is like, look, man, I'm gonna draw the line at cosplaying him. I'm not gonna cosplay him though. Well but I'll go see the film, but I'm not gonna dress up as him. No, sirree. No, sir. I'll dress as Batman. I'll support Michael Keaton though.
But what? All right, so Rob said something. He said I would have to do it for the 1989 Michael Keaton. Yo, the 1989 Michael Keaton has already gotten his paycheck. So
yeah, he got an extra one and didn't even have to do anything.
So yeah, exactly. So whether you go to that movie or not, that man is already paid for this movie. He may get like a point for like box office, but if no one goes to see this movie, he's not hurting. So I don't feel bad for that. Yes, I would love to go see the 1989 Batman in this movie because that's my favorite Batman.
Yeah, straight.
But if I don't go, Michael Keaton will not be hurting at all.
Yeah, he's still gonna get paid.
Yeah.
And if you ask him about everything, he's gonna be like, "What movie?" Like the way he did Bad Girl, shit. He just wants to get paid.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man. Like it's just one of those things. Like I would probably sit on that 42%. Like I'm not lying. I would probably sit on that 42%.
Well, shit, I'm fucked because I was banking on you watching the movie first, and then I was gonna go sit. I'm fucked.
Now, if I accidentally hit the play button on my Fire Stick, and it just so happens, yeah, maybe, but I ain't gonna give no money to these people.
That's a great idea. I might Fire Stick that one.
Yeah, I mean, because that's kind of like I tell people all the time. Sometimes you need like a sampler plate with some of these films that are coming out nowadays, or you just need to be able to taste it first before you go spend your money at it. Because some of these movies, they just come in and they just either put too much salt or just not enough seasoning at all, man. And these movies just end up tasting like shit. That's just what it is. For me, it's like I said, I'd rather be on the 42%. If they don't release the Flash movie at all, I'm not gonna lose any sleep. That's where I sit. If they
and honestly, that's the reason why they should not release it.
Yeah. And
that's exactly the reason why they should not release this movie, because if you don't release it, no one's gonna give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
no one's gonna be. Right. There's not gonna be an uproar. There's not gonna be an uptick on social media of, let's say, like people were for the Snyder Cut or for like, exactly. Would you go watch the Flash movie, or is that? So I was about to say that. So like there won't be this uproar as if like what happened with the Snyder Justice League movie. So why put it out though? Like that doesn't, it just does not make, it will never make sense to me.
That was equivalent to me when they did the Snyder Cut and then they showed the Martian Manhunter scene and it just seemed rushed. Like that whole scene just seemed like they just threw it in like last minute for no reason. And it's like, dude, why show us like a after credit scene if you know this it's never gonna get made? Like,
I
why?
actually like that scene, by the
No, I
way.
mean it was cool because we've never seen Martian Manhunter like in scene. And then the rumor about that guy being Martian Manhunter had been kind of casually there all over the place. But it was cool. I mean, I kind of wish we had like there's even talks that the Snyderverse may be coming back, which I mean we'll have to have a whole ass conversation about that one day. But that's even more wild to me that that David Zaslav guy's kind of like talking about how he was like that he thought that shit would work. Yeah. But I think for what Zack Snyder wrote, I'm not a big fan of his future idea, but they're going to really have to change some shit and bring back all the actors. But I mean, fuck, like from what we've heard in the last couple of days, it doesn't look like it's not too far fetched. They're talking about, of course, bringing Ben Affleck back as Batman in the Aquaman 2 movie. And I mean, there's always rumors of Henry Cavill all over the place. So like Henry Cavill coming back as Superman, I think that's kind of like.
I think that if he's not in the Black Adam movie
in some way, right?
Then that it's over.
I think it's over because that's a really great opportunity for him to pop up. But then, especially since you had in the Super Pets movie, you had The Rock play Superman's voice, if I'm not mistaken, and then you had Black Adam show up at the ending of that film. So, and of course, the Super Pets movie ended up making it to where Black Adam isn't necessarily a super villain like the way he's kind of made of in the comics, and he's more of just an anti-hero. So like there's a part of him that sits in the center line of being a good guy and a bad guy, I guess. But with that being said, have you heard about the Henry Cavill rumors?
Of course, yeah.
We're going to talk right about this because that coincides with DC pretty well. But apparently these rumors of Henry Cavill coming to the Marvel universe are getting way louder than normal. Brian, what have you heard about this, man?
I've heard that the rumblings are rumbling even more.
It's wild, man.
It's starting to build up. And honestly, I think that's the reason why I think him coming back as Superman is dead, because I think like these talks are getting serious.
Yeah.
And I think that Kevin Feige is really trying to find a way to get him into the MCU for one, because it's fucking Henry Cavill, and for two, it would be the biggest. And I have been documented on this show saying that Marvel is like the biggest troll to DC ever.
Yeah,
just by the moves that they're making with, you know, when they first heard that DC was coming out with the Justice League, they rushed to get the first Avengers movie out. When it's just it's insane. Like right before Aquaman 2 comes out, guess what comes out? Fucking Black Panther with fucking Namor. So now you're gonna have a fucking Atlantis. Mm-hmm. They're known for doing spiteful shit like that.
Yeah, they're just kind of making it to where they're just stepping right on the top of DC.
So
before it even gets into the swimming pool, they're just like, "Yo, we're in first, man."
Yeah. So I forgot what I was saying. So in just in lieu of that, and just to keep on par with that, for them to get Superman and have him in whatever role that they want him to have, it's right on par, dude. Like that makes total fucking sense. And it would also be a big middle finger from Henry Cavill to DC. Like, bro, you like guys
just like these guys got their shit together, and this is what you could have had.
You should have just fucking paid me, and I'm literally Superman. So just pay me whatever the fuck I'm asking for. You'll make it back in the box office. Stop nickel and diming me, and we'll call it a day.
Him just saying like, just have faith in what I do. Have faith in the character that I portray for you. Like, make something with this because I'm here right now. And the more you sit on it, the older I get. Like, the older he just gets, like, the more they just continue to be like, nah, push it back, Superman, nah, push it back, Superman. He just ends up being like an older gentleman guy. Like, he's right now, he's in his prime. He's in his prime, and he needs to be out there. He needs to be out there doing something. Now, the question is, of course, you and I, some of the people in the comment section, we know who they've been talking about him being, which I'm fucking championing for. That's like my fucking thing. But if you had an opportunity to put him, would you put Henry Cavill, if you had the opportunity to put him in a Marvel film, would you put him like a floor level hero, like a Daredevil, Moon Knight? Would you put him as a superhero with powers like Thor or Vision, or would you put him like a cosmic entity like Nova, or like the Guardian, or one of those characters, or Adam Warlock kind of thing? What would you prefer to have him as?
I don't know what I would prefer, but I mean, it would, again, being the trolls that Kevin Feige,
Yeah.
being the troll that Kevin Feige is, I can't see him being anything other than Hyperion,
Yeah.
because that would be the ultimate middle finger to DC. Like,
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
I'm gonna take your Superman and I'm gonna make him my Superman.
My
and
Superman,
I'm gonna actually make him more interesting and put him in a better movie.
Yeah.
So I just think that's the only route we go here. I would be surprised if he was any other character.
Well, I mean,
but definitely a cosmic. He would definitely be a cosmic character.
He needs to be like a godly dude, right? Like a big, because he's like a hulking guy. Like the dude's not like a normal shaped dude.
It's Henry Cavill, yeah.
Yeah, he's not like a normal shaped guy. This dude's like 100%, 190 pounds of pure man, dude. Like he needs to be up there doing something cool as shit. To get him on a floor level character, I know that there was plans to make him Brian Braddock's, or the one that's Captain Britain, which is very much like the way Captain America is, but in Britain there's a little bit more magic and stuff to his characters. He deals with like Merlin, the Black Knight, and all this other stuff, so it's not too far-fetched. Having him be Hyperion or the Century would probably be my top two choices. That's for anybody. Or having him be like Richard Rider of the Nova Corps, that would be really cool if they brought him in as Nova. Nova's like this Guardians of like a Green Lantern in space. I mean, of course, we all know who the Nova Corps is. They're from the Guardians Part 1. They're like the policing guys in the ships. But imagine one of those guys, but he can fly.
And that's funny that you mentioned that, because I did read just yesterday, that they are
planning it.
They are planning it. They are greenlighting the
which is about time. Yeah. I know that what was real crazy is the Russo brothers said that there was going to be a possibility to have a Nova in the Endgame. He was going to come in a portal, and everyone was going to be like, "Who the fuck is that guy?" And they were like, "Who cares, dude? He's on our team or whatever. Let's go." And that would have been cool. There are two major players in the Nova Corps, which are Richard Rider and Sam Alexander, who is the newest iteration, who's like a young Avenger, which would be cool. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to be like, yo, Henry Cavill's coming to the MCU. He is Superman in the DCU, but we're going to give him something a little bit different. But here's my opinion on why I think he plays a way better Hyperion. Because if, God willing, we get exactly what we want in the Marvel Universe after Secret Wars, in the very end, before everything comes to a collapse, we have Chris Hemsworth and Henry Cavill being the last two survivors fighting the Beyonders or whatever before like everything explodes. Doctor Doom wins and creates the all new, all different reboot of the Marvel Universe, which would be the road to Avengers End, or what is it? Avengers, the road to the Secret Wars, which is the comic you were reading, which has that ending with Thor and Hyperion at the end. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very cool. And I would love to see Chris Hemsworth and Henry Cavill play like a bromance of a Superman and a Thor together at the end of times, fighting like these cosmic level gods. But the thing is, what a lot of people don't remember, and I like to talk about this because it's super interesting, is DC and Marvel have both come and have said that their universes are in their own multiverses, in their worlds, in their realms. So like trickling down off of the different multiverse threads, you'll eventually find the Justice League and you'll eventually find the Avengers. But trickling down, you'll find all of these different iterations of the characters. So if you think of Hyperion as the Marvel's version of Superman in some multiverse, he would literally look like Henry Cavill. He would, right? That would be the trick. That would technically be the trick. Yeah. So to actually bring the person who is Superman from the DC universe in to play the Marvel Superman, who would technically be him in that universe, that's meta as fuck to me, dude. I love that theory. I love that, knowing that that's like if they're going with that, that's cool. But then again, like, does that mean they're going to bring in Gal Gadot? Are they going to bring in all the other characters? Like, I mean, there's a bunch of Justice League members that are out there that, you know, they're probably out there looking for work too, Marvel. You know, give Gal Gadot a chance. Bring her in as Power Girl or whatnot. Come on. I'm about that life. Like, do you think it would be interesting if, like, I mean, if they're not going to bring in the Flash, though, fuck Ezra Miller. Like, we're not about him. But if they brought in all the other characters as a member of the Squadron Supreme, like, there's not really an Aquaman. There would be a Green Lantern, which I don't think we had a Green Lantern yet, did we? He kind of like flew by, right? He like, it was like an alien or some shit.
In the DC?
Yeah, in the DC, we never got a Green Lantern, right?
Yeah, we didn't get a Green Lantern, but we got a nod to them in the Snyder Cut.
The Snyder Cut, right? So yeah, we didn't get a Hal Jordan. Then we have a speed one, but we can't have Ezra Miller because that guy cut. But Gal Gadot, Doctor Doom, and Batman. So we could have an opportunity to have the Trinity literally in a Marvel entry, which I really doubt Ben Affleck's going to come back to be Batman in a different iteration. I really doubt Ben Affleck's going to be about that life. But we were talking about how they're going to be introduced and how Henry Cavill's supposed to be coming into the Marvel MCU, right? We were talking about them doing in Loki season 2 because that's the talks where they're going to do the Squadron Supreme. Interesting because I think it works. And what I mean by it works is you don't have to give a lot of these characters because it's still a Disney series, right? Oh, yeah, dude, Grant Gustin, dude. Yo, that would be fucking... dude, Grant Gustin would totally kill it if you brought him into the Marvel Universe. He's such a great dude. Hell yeah. Shit, I never even thought about that. Goddamn, that's good. It's going to be a TV series, right? The Loki season 2. It's not a film. So you bring all these characters in and they just do a cameo kind of like Matt Damon does in the Thor movies.
But why though?
Just to build it. I mean, what else are we looking for Loki season 2? Like the only thing that we know is that Kang switched the timeline, right?
Yeah.
And unless you know about like Kang's life, like you'll know that his major thing is
what is that? What you're bringing to the table? What does that add to anything? Like, what is that?
Well,
what does that do?
First, it brings in an extra team that's already like a set in stone team with 5-6 members that aren't you saying, oh, it's the Avengers from another planet. Like you have something with a name. It's like the X-Men. It's like the X Factor. It's like A-Force. It's like, you know what I mean? Like they're all their own iterations in the comic books, the Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
You know, and it's cool because then you say that and then you establish them, the West Coast Avengers. Like you establish those in your mind, and other people, they can look that up and be like, oh, I know exactly who those characters are.
But you're saying with DC actors though.
Well, and the reason why I say this is because in context, it doesn't have to be that way, but in context, since Marvel and DC have come to terms in the comic books stating that, like, yes, the Squadron Supreme, we understand that they're like a cliff note of what the Justice League is in a multiverse, but we're not going to sue you because that's a trademark. Because the Justice League, that's literally the Justice League. And if Marvel and DC saw that, like if Marvel made that shit and didn't tell DC, DC's like, well, we're going to court. You're literally stealing our exact characters. I mean, Hyperion, literally, his planet exploded and he was sent to another planet and he survived on that planet and was raised by another dude and then turned into Superman. But you just call him Hyperion. It's the same thing. DC would sue for that. I mean, they tried to sue Marvel for Captain Marvel. You know what I mean? So they would instantly sue for that, but they came to an agreement. They came to an agreement and said, hey, that's cool as long as we can do the same thing. We can have characters that are similar to your characters, and we can throw them in there as like parodies of themselves or multiversal parodies of themselves. All right, bet. So this gives them an opportunity now that Marvel is doing a huge multiversal series, like a huge multiversal saga in the films. What's one of the major things that a lot of normie people are talking about that they want to see? Oh, dude, we need to see a Avengers versus Justice League movie. Oh, we need to see a Marvel versus DC crossover. Now, let me ask you something, Brian. How fucking nuts does that sound for a film? If you were literally like Justice League versus the Avengers, like that's like plain simple, the Snyder team versus Joss Whedon's Avengers. How doable does that sound in a film?
Sounds
dicey, right?
but there's no, well, we're so far. I'm confused as to why we're using that Avengers and that Justice League, because we're no longer in the Joss Whedon Avengers and the Snyder
But we're
Avengers.
still in that universe, though.
But
those characters are still relevant because they're in the history of the universe we're prevalent in.
So you associate the Avengers that we have now with Joss Whedon?
Oh, he was the director of the Avengers. I don't associate him with Joss Whedon. I'm just stating him as the reference of the Avengers, not something.
Okay. All right. I'll accept
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to say Joss Whedon. Like, I didn't really care about him.
I'll accept that. Yeah, you can even be. I can accept that because I guess I'll accept that. But we're not gonna have. We don't even have a Justice League though.
Well, that's the thing.
In theory, it sounds cool, but we would need to establish in order for me to get excited about that and for me to think that's wild, I need to know what Justice League we're talking about. I need to know the characters that are in play. I need to know the actors that are in play.
Let's say it's the Snyderverse ones. And that's the one, since that's the most established variation of the Justice League in live action. And that they were going to say, like, those two sets of teams are going to be put in a movie together against each other.
All right, that sounds cool because now we're talking about Ben Affleck and we're talking about Henry Cavill.
Yeah, all of them coming together.
But we won't. I mean, okay, fuck it. Yes, that would be cool. That would be cool. But this exercise that we're running right now, it doesn't. It's not real. Like we're not.
No, it's never going to happen.
Yeah,
straight up. Like you already know this is never going to happen. Why? Because the Snyderverse got cut. You know, the Avengers from the Whedon Avengers from the very beginning, our first iteration of the Avengers team, like those guys are all either gone, dead, or retired, or old, or I don't know what they did. They wrote them off. But there's a lot of people that want to see that in some way. But this is a very interesting way for you to establish that without saying, well, here's the Snyderverse. Marvel reaches out to the actors that are in this film it's no longer relevant because they're not going to use the Snyderverse. We've already understood that for a while, that the Snyderverse is kind of like a dead horse in the Marvel universe or the DC universe. Like they're going to have to reboot everything. But this is a really good opportunity for someone else to be like, hey, well, it'd be cool if we can get these actors together if we have permission to make some kind of like, hey, well, what if there's something close to those characters? You know, fucking Kevin Smith has done it in his films where he has Mark Hamill show up as the cockknocker, making fun of, the trickster from the DC universe with a lightsaber from, the Star Wars universe. And they let it sign off because it's a comedy or whatnot. But in the prospect of it, like the Snyderverse isn't going to be returned. But what if Marvel finds a way to bring some iteration of that team back, but through the Squadron Supreme in the Marvel universe, because it's a different multiverse. What's up, Georgie? How you doing, man? You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
It's weird as fuck. It's really far-fetched. Yeah, it's really far-fetched.
It's literally like beyond far-fetched. But it would be cool, I guess. Yeah,
but we're getting 1 point if Henry Cavill comes in as Hyperion.
Yeah, and so then what do you do with that? So then what do you do? So if you bring in the Justice League and you already have Henry Cavill as Hyperion, then what the fuck do you do about Superman?
Well, that's going to be up to DC if they can make it work. Because if he ends up doing fucking fantastic as Hyperion, why the fuck would he even return to DC if they can't get their shit together? Like, why would he need to return? You know what I mean? I mean, fuck, if they offer him the job and he's going to make money and all he has to do is go back and put the blue and red, like, why not? If you had the opportunity to play those two superheroes, would you? And get paid millions of dollars while you do it?
I mean, if I were him, whoever's paying the most, whoever pays me the most money, I'm wearing whatever suit the fuck you want. Put it on my check, man.
I'll put on whatever you want. But I mean, if you really enjoy the character, why not? And then not only that, Hyperion gives him the opportunity to do almost something as close to the Injustice Superman as you can. Like, so he gets the opportunity to be that strict, like real, like plain and simple Superman that people wanted to see in the first place. So it does give him that opportunity to kind of like venture off into different venues for his acting abilities. But we have this really cool possibility of hopefully getting Henry Cavill in the universe. I think if it works out, it'll be really cool because it gives us the Squadron Supreme to be used later on, maybe in Secret Wars as a part of the villains or superheroes to add on to the Battle World universe. And it just gives you more of an opportunity to build these characters that we're going to hopefully see into the next phase and stuff like that. Because my biggest thing is, who are you going to bring in for the phase 5? Right? We have all the new iterations of all the new Avengers, and what else you got? We're going to have hopefully the Illuminati. That's still one part that's still up in the air. You have, of course, the X-Men and the mutants. You have maybe fucking really far out there the Inhumans, and whatever they have left of the Avengers, which I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but like it's like Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop, Falcon, Echo. Who else? Who else is in that list? Have you seen that list yet? She-Hulk and Daredevil, that are apparently like, these are the 6 most important people going into phase 5.
There's a list.
There's like a really weird list, like of the main characters that are like, keep an eye on these guys because they're the most important characters that are coming up. You haven't seen that?
But how is that when we haven't even gotten through the rest of the movies though? Like,
fuck, I have no.
So that means that nobody in Black Panther is going to be worth looking forward to.
I don't know if they made that list without like, hey, well, we don't want to leave any spoilers because it doesn't make any sense.
Who made the list? Where did you see this from?
Let me find it real fast. Let me see. Hold on. 6 most important. I type like a dumbass. Characters in Marvel Phase 5. Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna send this to you right now in our chat, and I'll put this in our chat, of course, and then I'll put it in the comment section so you guys can check it out.
Just tell me who wrote it. Where did you find it from?
Right now, well, this one is on Cosmic Circus, which I'm not sure. But the 6 characters are Miss Marvel, Echo, Daredevil, Falcon, Ironheart. Yeah, I didn't remember Ironheart because that's from Black Panther, I guess, and Kate Bishop.
Okay.
Yeah, but these are like the ones that people are saying, like, these are the ones that are going to be like the champions coming up. So I don't know how that works out yet. I've never seen these characters in a solid team together. We still don't have any confirmation about what Marvel is really doing with the mutants with Miss Marvel. So that's still up in the air. And yeah, I'll put that in the comment section. There you guys go. If you guys want to check something out based on that, what we're reading, go ahead and go check that out. Not right now. Stay with us. You don't want to read that right now. You don't want to go to that crap. But yeah, that's the next phase right there, which I don't know whether it's the next phase of. It doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me yet. I do know that in the comic books right now, like Echo is a host for the Phoenix. Miss Marvel, I'm not really sure on what they're doing with their characters, but yeah, man, I'm really weird. That's really weird to me. But again, going back to what we're talking about, Henry Cavill, rumored to be in the Marvel Marvel movies, gonna be Hyperion.
I love when you go back to like the topic and just to see how far left we went with our
I have to pull it back, and it's
I
so
love
weird.
that shit. I
have to remember what we're on topic about because we go real fucking far out there. But Henry Cavill, rumored to be in Marvel entry. I just wanted to give my opinion on how I think it's going to work. And that's my theory, man. Like, I really think that since he's Superman for DC, he could be the Superman for Marvel and it just be that close. I don't know. I don't think you like it, Brandon. My feelings are hurt.
Your feelings are hurt that what?
That you don't like Henry Cavill being Superman of the Marvel universe as the multiversal version of Superman.
No, I love that idea. You just lost me. And I think you lost everyone else. Where the fuck you went with the whole fucking bringing in the DC fucking Justice League that no longer exists into the MCU, that fucking the Josh Whedon version. The fuck, bro? You went like you literally went over. You didn't go into left field. You didn't go into left field. You hopped over the fence in left field and kept on fucking running, bro. And just kept running.
Pull the Forrest Gump in that direction.
I'm like, what the fuck? But I'm here. I'm here for it. And listen, I'm all for Henry Cavill in the MCU. I'm all for him being being in the MCU. And honestly, I want him to succeed. I not only want him to succeed, but I'm starting to grow a little bit of hatred towards DC. Like not hatred, but like I kind of want Marvel just to give them the fuck you like middle finger right now, just because they're down and because it's funny.
Yeah, no, I 100% feel that. I felt that for a pretty long time actually. And it's not the fact that I don't want DC to succeed. It's I need them to understand that they need to get the fingers out of their ass and like get to work, because they have a huge gold mine, and I know they're always like, how are we gonna make money? How are we gonna make money? And it's like it's right there, dude. It's right there. Look, give someone a couple $100,000 and let them run that shit for you and let them make you money. Like,
yeah,
that's it. And they do. They have that Dan Lin guy that'll hopefully be coming in soon and change the facet. And then DC's back in charge. Once Marvel starts making weird movies and no one likes them anymore, DC will pick that shit. DC's gonna pick it up. Onwards to the next topic. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. Brian.
Yo.
Have you heard or have you seen or what do you think? Ant-Man trailer leaked in this like weird off-centered mobile phone leak trailer. What do you think?
Yeah, so it was definitely one of these VFX guys that are getting underpaid that leaked that shit. And
oh yeah, definitely.
honestly, it looks a lot more dramatic than I had expected. Honestly,
yeah. Doesn't have that big comedy kind of vibe to it. Seems like it's very like theatrical.
Yeah. So for all those that are listening, over the past week, there was a trailer leak of the up and coming Ant-Man movie.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's extremely serious, and it looks like there's a lot of deep shit going on, and it looks like Jonathan Majors and I don't know how much Jonathan Majors we're gonna get or Kang we're gonna get in this movie, but he is prominent in this trailer, and he seems to be obviously the vocal point of the movie. It seems like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of action, a lot of emotion. What did you think of the trailer?
Dude, exactly what you said. There's a lot of like theatrical, dramatic essence when it comes to the trailer. It's not like your cut and dry comedy that Ant-Man has kind of been with the Scott Lang character. Yeah. You know, you have all four characters coming together, the Pym family coming together with Scott Lang. But yeah, you have Irons coming in and doing Kang the Conqueror in his role. I mean, yeah, it's very small, like you see in the trailer, but it's wait,
what'd you call him?
Jeremy, what's his name? Irons? I don't know his name. I don't know his name. I said Irons, didn't I?
Yo, you have to understand, there's got to be at least like 1,000 times an episode where I just let you ride, bro. I just let you go, bro.
Yeah, because I'm really horrible.
I love this guy, so I'm gonna pause and correct you. His name is Jonathan Majors.
Majors, yeah, there you go. I said Irons because I was thinking of the dude from Die Hard, the brother, Jeremy Irons, Scar, dude from The Lion King.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know a lot of Jeremy actors. Jeremy Renner. I'm gonna call him Jeremy Renner.
That was great. I'm sorry to interrupt.
We'll call him Hawkeye. Yeah. Well, he comes out in the trailer primarily, I'm guessing, as Kang. I don't think he's gonna come out as like the Egyptian variation of himself, like through history.
No, he looks interesting. He looks like the same Kang that we got in Loki.
Loki, right? Like he looks very similar to that. So maybe he ends up being that guy at the end of time or whatever. The man at the end of time, and his character, that's like right before the Loki situation.
Yeah. Because
there's a really interesting part of this. Like, it's like you said, like, we don't know how much of Kang we're going to get.
Yeah.
But how do you, I mean, let me ask you, what kind
of from the looks of it, it looks like it's Scott Lang having a conversation
with this guy.
With Kang.
And then he asks like this fucking great question, which is, are you an Avenger? Have I killed you before?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's such a good line, dude. Oh fuck, dude. That's so like ominously scary from coming from a dude like that. Like, you don't know what he's capable of. And he's like, are you an Avenger? I've killed you before, haven't I? Like, yeah, we met somewhere before in time somewhere. I've killed you. Yeah, I killed you. Let me ask you something. What kind of phone you got?
iPhone 12, 13, one of the new.
I have an iPhone 7. What are the possibilities of my iPhone 7's processor beating your iPhone 13's processor?
Slim to none.
How the fuck
Actually, no. It's zero. Actually,
how the fuck is Ant-Man from the 21st century supposed to beat Kang from the 31st century in a technology battle?
he's not supposed to.
Not at all.
I don't think this movie is supposed to be a situation where he fights him, because
It would be fucking night and day.
it's going to be a situation where um the this the spectrum, not the spectrum, but the optics is like, this is like the end of time, and you Scott Lang are somewhere where you're not supposed to be. So from the looks of it, it looks like they do explore that hidden city that was Easter egged in the second Ant-Man. And
You're talking
we
about
go
Chronopolis, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it seems that we do go back there. And it seems like all of the theories were correct, and it seems like this is the place where this version of Kang resides. And Scott Lang fucks around and winds up there, finds Kang, and then that's where we meet him. But I don't think there's going to be a fight. Scott Lang is not a fighter. He's
Yeah, there's no way.
He's not a fighter, and Kang isn't a fighter either, as far as we know. So there's not going to be a big battle. It's just going to be an introduction, and it's going to, bleed into whatever happens moving forward. I don't think this is going to be a fight.
So we do know, and what's crazy is there's a lot of like talk about this too. Is we do know that from the trailer it's really, really fast, but we get this really quick shot of a character that's been kind of talked about throughout the MCU for a couple of years now, ever since the introduction of Arm Zoloff and the Red Skull and all this stuff from the Captain America movies. And we are talking about MODOK, who ended up getting a Marvel show on Hulu a while back, which was kind of here nor there. A lot of people didn't watch it. I got to see a couple episodes. It's super stupid, silly. But we have the opportunity of seeing MODOK in the film or in the trailer. You can see him real fast. But the reason why people, and MODOK is this character that's like, if you've never seen him before, it's hard to explain. Kind of looks like a biscuit with little legs and a face. Like,
I always think of Kang. I always think of Kang. I'm sorry, Krang from
Krang. Yeah, from the Ninja Turtles.
From Ninja Turtles. That's
a really good reference.
I always think of him when I think of MODOK.
Yo, straight. That's a really good way. Yeah, he looks like Krang, like the brain. But imagine him with like little arms.
A human, yeah, he's like a human head. Yeah,
and he's got like I guess his body's like a floating wheelchair. He looks like a light bulb. I don't know how to explain it. Like, just looks like a weird little shit.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
But the way that they're implementing that he looks is he usually has like a normal face, like I guess as normal as you can with a body that sounds like that. In this one, they're making it seem like he's more android than he is human-esque. So he has like a big purple metallic face on him. Have you seen this?
I haven't seen it. No.
I'll see if I can find a picture of it real quick, and I'll put it in the chat so everybody can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. But it almost looks like, man, what's a good reference for that? Off the top of my head.
And he's supposed to be in the new Ant-Man.
Yeah, he's in the new Ant-Man. I'll put Ant-Man. Yeah.
We did actually in the trailer. We did see Bill Murray. So Bill Murray is confirmed.
Bill Murray is
in Ant-Man. Yeah. So Bill Murray is 1000% in Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm. So we are looking at. Let me see if I can. Okay, I'm gonna find I have the Twitter post right here. Copy. I'm gonna put this in here. I don't know if that'll allow you guys to go to that post, but it's there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this to Brian too. Brian, you can click on that. That's what we're looking at what MODOK looks like. So I'm on it right now too. If you guys want to check it out, he's very he looks like a Lego character with just arms and legs. That's the easiest way I could explain it. He doesn't look like he has a human face or he's like deformed in any way, like a giant baby in a cart. Like he doesn't look like that. He just looks like a big old metal robot. How do you feel about this for Kang? Did you see it already?
I'm looking at it. Yeah.
People in the comments, let us know what you guys think too. Brian,
I
what do you
don't
think?
I don't know. I don't like it.
It looks
That's
kind of
not
weird, right?
it's not MODOK for me. But I can say that, but let me watch the movie. I don't even know if this is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I don't
Good
even
point.
know if this I don't even know if that's what he actually looks like. So let me watch the movie first, and then I'll, depending on, because I could say the same thing about a lot of characters that were leaked beforehand and end up loving them. So let me see how it is first. And I don't even know how much of the movie he's gonna be in anyway. So if he's just in it for like 5 seconds, I don't even fuck what he looks like at the end of the day. So
Well, I mean, we do know MODOK to be an interesting, and we do know that apparently he's going to be voiced by Jim Carrey. This is what we've heard before. So,
mhm.
um, good call. It would be great to see Jim Carrey come back. Now, a lot of people are talking about that. The reason why his face kind of looks like that is because he did take some of the technology from Ultron, like the way his Ultron body was. So
Okay.
he did some. But the thing is, like, what's so crazy is if you go back to this game that just came out, the Avengers game, there's a really good origin slash introduction of MODOK that's really good. And if the movie fails at this, this is gonna. I mean, that's not a make or break.
It's
MODOK
not,
has
because
never
we
been a
don't
make or break character.
we don't know how intricate he is to the
Intricate it's gonna
movie.
be.
He's gonna be in the movie for 5 minutes. Like I said, like that's why I don't want to pass any judgment, because if he's
Mhm.
only in the movie for 5 minutes, then it matters none to me what he looks like. He's not significant in the story, and
Yeah.
it's
So
not gonna make a difference.
I'll put. Oh no, I can't play this. This is a trailer. If you look up anything really, you'll see that there's like pictures of it from the trailer and stuff
Hmm.
like that. But lo and behold, what I think is going to happen, this is just my opinion. I think MODOK is going to be more of a major villain, and Kang is going to be like a cameo, where he's going to hire MODOK in some nature to fight off. Like he's going to be one of the technology that he leaves behind, kind of thing, to fight the Avengers, and that's when you're going to get your introduction to MODOK being like this like villain character in the series. And I think he kind of plays very well in being a villain in that Chronopolis kind of world. Because I don't think this character would work like if you were gonna just say like, oh yeah, like he was hanging out like in Hell's Kitchen or whatever. Like you're gonna be like, this guy looks fucking weird. There's no way this dude's just hanging around somewhere. No one's talked about him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
So being I think, man, that's the only way I can think about them using MODOK and making him relevant in the MCU right now. I mean, he's a pretty relevant villain in the comic books. Like he's a pretty solid villain in the comic books that you can use a lot. So he's like a really interesting throwaway villain that you can kind of have come back and go back, and he ends up owning AIM, the what is it, automatic idea mechanics or whatever, big ass company in the Marvel universe like Roxxon. So I think it's a really good introduction to have MODOK in this, man. So that's my call. I think he's cool. The design's kind of but we'll have to see. That trailer still looks really wonky though.
Yeah.
The trailer looks so real wonky. I can't wait for it to be released in a better quality. But that's the trailer from San Diego Comic-Con that a lot of people were talking about a couple months back. If you get an opportunity, it's all over the place on the internet. You guys can check it out. You guys, make sure you go check it. What are you excited for the Ant-Man movie?
Jonathan Majors
Just straight
and
up.
and Paul Rudd. I'm a huge Paul Rudd fan.
Hey,
I want to see what Bill Murray has to offer. I'm a big Bill Murray fan. Other than I like Michael Douglas as well. So Michael Douglas.
the cast is fantastic, dude. The
Yeah,
cast is fucking fantastic.
good. So I
Yeah,
listen. I like the first two movies, although I know they didn't get um
they were
you know
received very well.
they won't receive very
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
But listen, I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to this movie. Again, I'm a huge Jonathan Majors
Good
fan.
shot.
So we'll see.
George Vasquez, our homie George. What's up, my dude? Says we need Marvel versus Capcom's MODOK. That was kind of the iteration I'm hoping we're getting. Maybe like the face, if this is the body that they go with, maybe the first part's like an armor, and then it gets popped off and you see his real face at the end. I'd be down to see that if that's the way they go. And Robert Flores says, my dude Robert, our boy Big Rob, I hope the bad guy wins this time. Man, super bad guy here, anti-hero Rob. But I do understand what you mean, man. I really hope that Kang makes a really badass entrance in this film. There's been a lot of hype for his character coming into the MCU, and there was dude, you remember all the hype that they were talking about, that they were like, you guys be ready, man. You guys be ready. Kang's coming in Ant-Man. You know what I mean? Like I'm fucking, man, I'm really excited to see him come out of Ant-Man. Really excited. Can't wait. If they don't bring that shit, I'm gonna be super pissed off. Super mad. Now, real quick, before we get into our last part of the conversation, which is talking about She-Hulk episode 3, guys, don't forget, next week we're going to be on the show here covering everything that's coming out on Disney's D23 next month. Or what is it, next week? Sorry, not next month, which is going to be September. It's coming out next week. Exciting stuff to look forward to. There's been a lot of talks about Nova. There's been a lot of talks about them talking about the Fantastic Four. They're talking about how the dude that came out in the Illuminati's version of Reed Richards lost the opportunity to the kid from Netflix from that one crazy psycho show, which I'm super excited about. I think he plays, you know who I'm talking about? You know that show that's called, like, it's the one where like the guy's like a fucking serial killer, but he like dates chicks.
Oh, you?
Yes, he's gonna be Reed Richards.
Okay.
That's pretty good. That is really cool. But you know what I heard today that I thought was phenomenally fantastic? Do you know who someone put out that there's in talks for Doctor Doom?
Who?
Adam fucking West. No, not not Adam West. Adam Driver. Sorry, last name's weird. Kylo Ren himself.
Yeah.
Adam fucking Driver for Doctor Doom. That sounds amazing, dude. That sounds amazing.
I can see that.
He's done Adam West, dude. Can you imagine? Let's dig him up. Dig him up, folks. Disney, we got money, man. We bought Stan Lee. We can buy this guy. Adam fucking Driver coming in as Doctor. That hit me out of left field today, because it never even crossed my mind to have him as a character in the Marvel MCU. But such a phenomenal actor as Kylo Ren in the series, coming back from the dead, coming back. I'm excited for that, man. I really hope that that's something that they really look into. If not, do you think there would be a really good opportunity for Adam Driver to be a character in the MCU?
I think there's a good opportunity for anyone. Like, there's so many opportunities for everyone. I mean, the short answer is yes. Who? I don't know.
But how do you feel about Adam Driver if they were going to cast him for a Doctor Doom character?
I don't. He kind of fits the part,
bill, right?
He fits the part.
Yeah. When I saw that today, I was kind of like, oh man, dude, like I could be about that. I'm 100% about that. That would be fantastic. All righty, my dudes and dudettes, everybody in the comment section, everybody that's here listening, thank you guys very much so far for tuning in. We are going to get into our main part of the topic today, which is talking about one of the shows that's up in arms right now on Disney Plus, Marvel's streaming service, She-Hulk episode 3. Bang! Brian, have you seen the episode?
I have.
People in the comment section, have you seen the episode? Let us know in the comment section. Brian, what do you think of episode 3? How do you feel so far about the series?
I love it. I love it. I love episode 1 through 3. I think it's right on par with some of the best stuff that they have. I love everything about it, like her breaking the fourth wall. Those are some of my favorite elements, especially in this last episode. I love the fact that they have the commentary on social media and toxic masculinity, and I love all of it. Everything that they're doing is such a smart written show. The only critique I have is that it needs to be longer than 30 minutes. Other than that, I'm on board with everything. I think the acting is great. I love the fact that they don't take the show too seriously. They make fun of themselves, and with some of the jokes that they make, and like for instance, in the beginning of episode 3, she was like, "I don't want you to think like, you know, I don't want you to get spoiled thinking that there's going to be a cameo in every episode. You know, oh, but there was Bruce, and oh yeah, and then there was
but there's been cameos in every episode.
Yeah, so like they're making fun of it. Also, specifically when they met at the bar, and they were joining the A story and B story, and she actually looked
actually
at the
says,
camera and that said that was amazing. Like those type of things are what's going to be successful for this show. And they're knocking it out the park. So but yeah, I'm loving it so far. If I were to grade it, I would say that it's probably like for me out of a 10, it's probably like an 8 out of 10 so far, 3 episodes. What about you, sir? How do you feel about it?
I mean, I'm digging it. I kind of feel like, I mean, I wasn't really like a big fan of like the courtroom TV shows back in the day either. So like the Ally McBeal, like the things that they're referencing and stuff, like, I mean, I get them, but I'm not like really like, oh, okay. But other than that, like the show is hitting all the major points it needs to hit to be a good show. Like, I don't see it being bad. Like, there's a lot of people out there. Of course, we've seen that there's a lot of people complaining about like all the girl stuff, girl power, or toxic masculinity, like you said, and all that stuff. And there's people that are up in arms about it. But like, I feel like Disney and the writers of the show has found a really great way to make that its own advertisement for the show. And they're using these people that like hate this stuff to get people to talk about it even more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes
like
sense.
It's like a really interesting strategy to use. And it's like you said, like, it's not like this show doesn't know it's silly in some parts. Like, it's not like it doesn't know. It's like you said, like like that's been a major talking point. Like, people are like, oh, they're gonna have a bunch of cameos because this show's gonna suck or whatever. But yeah, like they know that this character isn't coming in as a heavy hitting character. So they know they have to pull those kind of like strategies in film to make it a little bit more interesting, right? Kind of bring in some characters from other stuff because they have that opportunity. Comic book stories, there's potential to see other characters in stories. It's like you're watching a Spider-Man comic book and then all of a sudden Blade fucking pops up out of nowhere. Like, that's not an uncommon thing in regular comic books. So like, yeah, to see cameos in these shows, like, what else do you watch them for?
Yeah,
like, what else do you watch Marvel fucking films for if not for the cameos? I mean, if those people that are complaining about the cameos working and they hate it because they can't do it, it's like, did you like Spider-Man No Way Home? Because that's the whole movie was a cameo. It was the highest grossing fucking film out of the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. Everyone saw that film and loved it. But like, that's what these films do. They bring cameo characters and that work. I mean, fucking everybody was excited for the Illuminati, and it wasn't even the Illuminati. Yeah, like, it was like 3 Illuminati characters and a bunch of random fucking people, and people were still like, "Fuck yeah, the Illuminati!" Yeah, that doesn't. What the hell are you complaining about now? For me, it's one of those things. Like, I just don't think like the comedy hits for me all too hard because it's kind of slapstick, very old sitcomish 90s sitcoms, and I'm kind of like, oh, okay, like I'll hit the joke before I get like it comes out. Like, I'll understand it before it comes out, and it won't be as funny, but I'll be like, oh, that's witty. Like, one of my favorite parts in the show, which I thought that was so dumb, was you have Emil Blonsky in his cell. Jen shows up Walters, and then literally all of a sudden, the 7 wives show up.
Yeah,
and I was like 100% thinking, oh, he's just calling them his 7 soulmates because those are the Thunderbolts. Like, I literally thought it was a Thunderbolts reference. And they were going to buy a plot of land and they were going to be all on a fucking base in the middle of a ranch. And it was going to be like the Suicide Squad. Nope. They literally brought in 7 chicks for this dude. And they were like, yeah, he's literally like a yoga Pilates instructor. Like, he's all guru now. And I'm like, that's funny. That's so dumb. But like, in my head, a lot of people are talking about how like a lot of these characters are being unmasculated to build characters. And in my mind, I'm like, no, not really. The part of this story which was interesting was Jennifer then has to explain to the court that all the stuff that Bruce was trying to teach her about learning to calm herself, that she could still be a Hulk and be a member of society, was everything she learned by what Emil Blonsky had to go through. Like, she had to physically see someone else do it to be like, oh shit, he was right. Mm-hmm. Because she has to explain to the court, like, through his rigorous training and learning to understand himself, he's now able to understand who he is as a person and be a member of society again. And that's exactly what she was like, dude, I'm never going to go back to normal. My life is always going to suck. I can never be cool again and be just myself and blah, blah, blah. And she learned that by watching him. But that's what Bruce told her. And she was like, well, I already know better. Like, I already know better because I don't need to do that, Bruce. I'm already done. But she sees that through other people's experiences. And I love the fact that, like, when she goes to the news reporter and she's on the news and they're like, oh, the abomination. And she's like, his name is Emil Blonsky. Like, he's a human being. Like, he's
Well,
not.
I don't think it's something that she's learning. It's something that she's just accepting. She's in the realm of accepting all of this stuff. She's accepting the name She-Hulk, although she hates it. She's accepting.
No.
She's accepting the fact that this law firm is only hiring her because she's the Hulk. Like, she's accepting all of this. It's not like she's really learned anything.
No,
she hates it. She doesn't. She's not even.
Experiences, like, they're reassuring her, like, they're building her confidence in it more. If anything, because, like, she has no confidence. She's just like she's like almost like she's bummed out. Like, there's that whole point in the bar, which we talked about, the A and B part, where she's like, oh, I just want everything to go back to normal. And then the chick's like, dude, like, that shit's long. That ship sailed a long time ago. Like, it's never gonna be normal. Like, this is your life. Like, it's almost like everyone else has accepted it, and then she just can't. But then
I think she is accepting it. She's just, again, she's coming to. She's not. Yeah, she's not learning from it. It just is what it is. She's accepting it, and she's taking it as it comes, which I think is a great dynamic.
Yeah.
And it further pushes I don't want to say narrative, but it further pushes the perspective that she is she's still dealing with a lot. She's still dealing with coming to terms with a lot, but at the same time, she doesn't have the luxury, the time. She doesn't have the time.
Yeah, she's very rash. She's very brash about it. Like, she's just kind of like, hey, dude, like, I understand, but I got to keep going. I can't slow down. Like, I can't let this slow me down. And she's just like, well, how do I deal with all of this stuff while maintaining my pace? And I'm still trying to cope with everything. Like, I'm still trying to have the acceptance of how my life has already changed.
Yeah.
And it was really cool, man. It was really cool. I like the Wong. Wong is such an interesting dude. Like, he's so disconnected, even though, like, his previous job was at Target. Like, I don't know if you saw, like, on the phone thing that he worked at Target before.
I saw it.
So, like, I don't understand why he's like, oh, you mean this and that, and he's always talking about no, like, the normal shit, dude. Like, you don't have to like talk about Tamatage or the Book of Ashanti or all that. It's so silly when he just constantly like, oh, you mean banish him to the shadow realm? And it's like, no, dude, like, chill, bro. Like, oh, you mean put him in the mirror dimension? No, dude, chill, bro. Like, we'll call you. Just gotta go and give a disposition, dude. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah. It's like, those are his first two go-tos. Oh, I can't have everybody forget everything again. Like, it's like, dude, why are you so adamant about being so hardcore, man? Just kick it back a notch. We're gonna do some regular law shit. It was super funny to see him start mentioning, like, all that shit. I was like, dude, that's so dumb.
There's a lot that's enjoyable about this show. And again, it's a free roll. We don't have to think too much. It's not something that we were looking forward to. And it turns out to be a fucking great show. And then not only that, but again, I can't say it enough. I love the fact that they are commentating on real life shit. Like, they're commentating on how how social media is treating the show in real time. It's so, like, that's so fucking genius. Like, that appeals to me. Like, they are making fun of everyone that's saying, yo, I'd smash She-Hulk. Or they're making comments to people that are saying, like, I don't need any more women superhero in the world. Like, that is what's happening in real life, and it's almost like they knew that would be coming, and that's what they're doing. Like, that's so fucking genius. That's so fucking genius, and they need to be acknowledged for that.
Yeah, because it's predictable. Those talking points are all the predictable ones that all those people, like, they kind of like portray that's always the problem with society or whatnot. And these guys are like literally predicting exactly what they're going to talk about. Like,
and nailed it. Like, literally to the T. Like, I would smack. Like, there's so, like, it's amazing.
Yeah, trolling the regular suspects. That's a really great way to put it.
It's great.
Trolling the regular suspects. I dig that shit. Good job, George. That's a really great way to put it. But yeah, so far so good. I mean, the show itself it's witty, it's fun, it's down to earth. I feel like it's got a little bit like more adult banter than what we got with like the Miss Marvel banter for teenagers. I do like the variety that Marvel is putting out there when it comes to their shows right now. Like I like that it's giving everybody the aspect of having their own show. Like I think 100%, like my mom who watches like NYPD Blues or like cop shows or whatever, like I think she would like this show if she watched it.
Yeah.
I think it just goes in that nature where it's just funny enough and just enough silliness. The one thing that I was really disappointed with was they had a light elf in this show, right? Okay. And the light elves were super prominent in the Jane Foster storyline. And they did not at all cater to at least bringing in something of the light elves. That was like a huge like toll of life that was being taken on the light elves in that series. But it just sucks that they didn't use that asset in the Thor 4 movie. That's been my only kind of thing where I was like, bro, like you had a light elf in this one and you couldn't put one of them in the Thor movie? Goddamn, man. Like the whole series started in Jane Foster with the light elves getting like massacred, like, and being used as like this thing that, what's his face? The dark elf dude. I can't even remember his stupid name. Not Loki, but the other guy. Fuck it. I'll remember him later.
Okay.
The villain in part 2. There were so many, just, it was an opportunity. And I thought it was cool. Like the way that character looked, the light elf chick, that's exactly the way they look in the comics.
Okay.
Like her attire, the way that's very like fucking Lord of the Ring-ish, very, very, I don't know, Celtic fabric from old school shit. Looked really cool. I thought it was badass. I thought her character was fucking silly as shit though, dude. Like constantly like shape shifting and trying to get away with shit. The lawyer guy Pug was like, dude, really, Runa? Like you're gonna fucking do this with the judge? And then she's like, oh, she jumps off the stage and like even her lawyer's like, dude, you can't do that. That's against the law. And she still didn't take that shit serious. I thought it was really silly. Of course, we have a lot of people are talking about Megan Thee Stallion coming out at the end and the whole twerking scene, which, I mean, funny.
How'd you feel about it?
I mean, it was funny. I mean, it was cool. It was witty. It's kind of like if you have Jose Canseco come out at the end of a TV show and then at the end he's trying to teach someone how to fucking swing a bat. Like it's just the same way. You're not going to bring Megan Thee Stallion into a show and have her just say some shit and point a fan at her face and then not have her do something funny. Every throwaway ending credit scene in the Hulk thing is the extra jargon that's not really important to the story. It's just fun. I mean, in the last episode, it was her putting a TV up, fucking carrying some Oasis bottles. Like, if anyone out there's mad at that being like a funny thing of this episode, like, explain to me any of the previous after credit scenes that fed the story into the next iteration or the next episode. They're not there for that. They're just throwaway shit. It's like dancing Groot at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy. It doesn't really give you anything for the story. It's just funny. So Megan Thee Stallion coming out, doing her yada, yada, yada song, like, all right, cool. Like, it's all right. Like, it's fun. I don't think this show, like, after really like basing it down, like, I don't think this show is meant for like little kids, because it's meant for like, no little kid's going to fucking watch Ally McBeal. Let's just fucking leave it out there. That's not the people involved. This isn't like, we're not catering to just children in this. This is like, hey man, like if you've seen the Avengers movies, you can watch this one because it's just as funny. If this upsets people because they want to say like it's bad or it's not good humor, bro, you guys all laughed at the ass joke of Captain America. Like you all laughed at America's ass and you guys let that shit slide. Like, remember that? There's a whole ass group of people that were like, oh, that's America's ass right there. Like even Chris Evans, America's ass. And nobody bat an eye on that shit. If they want to come and do twerking dances and dance with Megan Thee Stallion, dude, let them. Fucking more people are watching it, man. People are getting views. That's all I care about. I just want Marvel to be successful, man. That's all I want. I want Marvel to be successful. I don't want Marvel to go away. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm scared. I'm scared as a comic book lover. I'm scared to go back to that time where we weren't getting comic book movies. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine if Marvel one day just up and said, hey, guys, we're kind of done. We don't know what else to do. Where would we go? What character would you be like, man, they didn't even do this character? You know what I mean? Like that's my thing. DC, literally, DC right now went away. DC ain't got shit. Like right now, you ain't got no. There's no way you're gonna get a Superman movie or a Batman movie. No way you're gonna get that right now. How do you feel as a DC fan, knowing that Marvel's making all this amazing shit and DC's out there like, nope, can't do it, guys. Sorry. I don't want to go back to that. If this is what Marvel's giving us, like, okay, fine. If people don't like it, fine. Don't watch it. There's enough people that are watching it. That's all I know. Right now, the show, I dig it. I think it's funny. I enjoy it. I sit down, I watch it. It's an easy 30 minutes I can swallow and digest. It's not killing me. It's not doom. Sad, destroy, heartbroken. Why though? Why though? DC movies can't get it. Brian, how about you, man?
Like I was just letting you cook because you sounded very emotional about that. But I mean, no, you know I literally don't have that nightmare because there's too much money floating around. These movies are making $1 billion. Like there's no way that they're going to up and leave. Like I know that it seems like DC is gone, but that's not true. They have 3 movies coming out in the next year while they're revamping their strategy. So they're not going anywhere.
I mean, are any of those movies any of the Trinity?
Regardless, it doesn't make a difference on whatever the answer to that is. You're saying that they're gone. They're not gone. They're actually just revamping. They're just gonna have to re-strategize because it's not working. And Marvel is not ever gonna go anywhere. They're making way too much money. There's way too much money on the line. They're not going anywhere. But I do understand what you're saying. I just don't have that. I don't have that fear. Because I think not only because of the money, but I think the fandom is too strong to let it fail. Mm-hmm. I don't think we as fans will let it fail.
Would let it fail.
That's where
we're gonna watch this. We're gonna
that's where my money's being placed on that topic. But no, I get it. I understand where you're coming from though.
Like it's very cool. Like what's been catching me recently, and this is on the same topic but a little bit off, is like we come on every Friday and we give our opinions, good or bad, and then we say, hey, but you know, you guys, if you like it, good on you, man. Like we enjoyed it, we didn't enjoy it, or we enjoyed it, and that's it. Like that's just our opinion. But we still watched it. We still watched it as in its entirety to at least a point in that we could say yes or no. So that would be like with me with the Doom show, right? I saw it up to episode 2 and I was kind of like, hey, you know what? Like, I feel like it's a little bit not on my pace. Like I'm not really digging it. I'm not going to consume it anymore. And of course we didn't really talk about it too much either. I mean, you yourself, you didn't even watch it. You know what I mean? Like you didn't even care to at least like even check it out because you were like, well, it doesn't interest me.
So there's so much content out here in the world. I literally go off of word of mouth. Like that's the only, unless it's something that it was already an interest of mine in the first place.
Yeah.
But if it's something, there's wait, like right now, like I have so much shit out here. I need to like the Mike Tyson, like the Mike Tyson shit that's on Hulu.
Oh, that's right. I haven't even thought of that, dude.
Like there's so much new shit that's coming out weekly that I have to catch up on. I'm going to like rely on other people to say, hey, you need to watch this, and then I'll watch it. But just to like I wasn't looking forward to the Doom shit. I wasn't looking forward to the Halo shit. Like if somebody said, yo, this shit's fucking awesome, you need to watch it, then I'll get on it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's one of those things, like if that's something that those people are passionate about, I respect that. And then they'll ask me and then I'll go check it out. But there are some really hateful people out there that make videos that just like, they literally hate to hate. And it's so crazy to watch on the internet. I mean, every day I go to my gym, I teach motherfuckers to beat the shit out of other motherfuckers, like for a living. And then they go in and they hate that dude for the first 5 minutes that they've never met him. And then they're best friends with him after they punch him in the mouth. Like that's some really, if you want to say it, toxic masculinity shit. That's some very masculine shit to just go and make money by beating up other men or women or whatever you fucking do. But there's some fucking people out there like, yeah, like I don't know if anybody out there is really tripping on that Andrew Tate guy. That guy is not the right type of man to have out in the world being like a leader of society.
Yo, me and D talked about this on my other podcast like yesterday. Actually, we
I need
recorded
to
an
know, man.
episode.
Tell me how that went because I
Yo, bro,
fucking
and
my
we
brain
talked
is
about
like
him.
straps.
Not to get too far down the rabbit hole on this Andrew Tate guy, but he literally put out a tweet that said, a man should only laugh once a day. If you laugh more than once a day, then you're being soft and you're being a pussy.
Yo, straight up, this motherfucker really's got to be like a character. Like he's got to be playing this shit. If not, he's gonna be one of the most spoiled motherfuckers on the planet.
I think he's dead ass serious, dude.
He's spoiled. He's a spoiled ass little bitch. I despise the way this guy acts. And I get it. He has the money and he's above everybody else because he can literally say shit and people just walk all over because he's got cash. Fucking cool. If that's what rules you. There's either two people in the world. You're either a Spartan or you're the dude who blackmailed his wife to bang her. And then you're gonna get killed by the wife because you're a piece of shit human being. Like,
but it's so interesting because I have a group chat that half of us love this guy and the other half of us despise this guy.
there
And then
is some parts of him that he speaks correctly, and then there's parts that just trash flies out of his mouth.
I don't think anything he says is the truth. I think
There is some parts where he'll be like, he'll talk about his father. His father, when he speaks about his father, it's very interesting because his dad seemed like a good old fashioned, like just an intelligent individual when he talks about the way he spoke in chess and words he used. Intelligent individual, and I respect that. I think that's cool. But like this guy took it like in a whole ass other direction. Like this is something I've always like. I get to talk to some of my students about this at the gym. But how do you guys come to terms with this guy, this Andrew Tate guy? Like, what is he? What do you think about him? Because he is a talking point. I ain't gonna lie.
I think I think he's a very delusional, irrational, toxic person. I don't think that his rhetoric or his ideals are conducive in 2022. I think there may have been a point in time where he would have gotten more followers, but that time has come and gone. As far as I'm concerned, he speaks of a time that no longer is prevalent. It's no longer relevant to there's no way that you can tell a woman that she has to be a certain way to be with a certain type of person or vice versa. So I just don't I don't understand the people that follow him. Again, I have a group chat where we talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
And half of them love him, saying that, women should be subservient and, men are dominant and it's just the way that it is. And I'm usually the only person in the chat because I love
Rough. Yeah,
no, it's not that I'm the only one that feels this way, but I'm usually the only one that I will cut out time in my day to argue this shit because I'm raising a daughter. I'm raising a young woman.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to look her in the face and say you will never be better than a man, or you will never be as valued as a man, I can't feel right saying that to her. So, and that's what he preaches, and that's what a lot of, unfortunately, some of my friends believe in. And I just sit there and I call them out on their bullshit because one, half of them have daughters and they would never say that to their daughter's face, number one. And then number two, I'm single, but most of them are in a relationship and they would never
act that way in front of their lady.
Say this shit in front of them ever. And I call them out all the time. I'm like, yeah, it's great to be in a chat full of guys to talk all this shit. But motherfucker, I've seen you just last week about to kill yourself because your fucking significant other was about to fucking leave you.
Mm-hmm.
So don't fucking give me this shit about how women are less or they don't mean much or they don't. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, so when it comes to people like Andrew Tate, bro, like I take him with a grain of salt. If you believe in that shit, fine. If that works out for your relationship, fine. But like, it's not for me.
I think everything that guy talks about the opposite sex is trash. Every time he speaks about degrading and the essence of how he degrades females, I think it's horrible.
And not only that, but he's speaking to a very few
Yeah, it's a
people.
very small.
When he's speaking about high valued men, that's not the average motherfucker walking down the street.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So he's not even speaking to you. He's speaking to a 1% of motherfuckers that are walking around in this world that does not pertain to you. So when you go around spewing his rhetoric, you sound like an idiot.
You sound like a dumbass.
You sound like a fucking dumbass. Because I know better. I've been in plenty of relationships to know that you could be as tough as you want in this group chat with us, but I know who runs your household. I know when you fucking get in the covers, you're a fucking bitch. Like, I get that. I already know that. So don't come in the group chat or just in the world and think like that's the way shit works, bro. Like, it's just funny to me.
Yeah, no. I needed to ask. And so how did it go? Yes, like when you guys were talking about it with D. What did you guys talk about?
That's basically what I said. He got banned from basically all platforms of social media, and it's because he's spewing misogynistic and hateful shit.
Yeah.
And I was never a fan of Kevin Samuels, RIP, but I wasn't a fan of his. And it looks like after he passed, then it looks like Andrew Tate just jumped into his role to prolong and even take it to a higher degree. I don't know who
Kevin Samuels is.
He's basically the first person that started
that kind of like movement.
Yeah. So and it seems as though like Andrew Tate just took it and ran with it.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about. This guy passed away.
Yeah, he's dead.
How did he? Oh shit!
Heart attack.
Oh wow!
Fucking some young girl.
Wow. Died of hypertension.
Yeah, he had a heart attack. Fucking some young girl, and so he passed, and he was the one that became famous for like the toxic masculinity shit. And after he passed, I guess there was a void, and I guess Andrew
filled that
Tate
void.
just filled that void, and but he took it to a different degree because Kevin Samuels never got banned. He never got, he never got banned or shadow banned or anything. And this guy he got banned because the way that he's going about it is just very aggressive.
He's very vulgar aggressive.
Yeah. And
very vulgar aggressive.
And I would just love to see how he would deal with like any woman that's not an Instagram model, because he seems like he picks on.
Yeah, they only pick on certain demographic of females. If you were to put him up against like the ladies from the land or the loan sharks, like put him up against the fucking chick that owns QVC, like put him in the same room and see if that bitch that lady isn't like, dude, fuck you, dude, fuck out of here, like you're trash. There's just something about him that when he talks about like the warrior essence, like I get that. Like when he talks about being a fighter, some of his stuff that he talks about when he comes about how to put in a proper punch or the way
but
you.
That's not gonna make him rich though. What's gonna make him rich? The fucking sensationalized fucking toxic masculinity shit. That's what's gonna make him rich. Though
I don't cater to his ass when it comes to that shit. I think he's a piece of shit. But like I said, that's the only thing that I think that I ever seen from him that I'm like, oh, okay, you're sound of mind when it comes to that. But man, where does that turn of I like to degrade females come from? Like, it's so wild. It's so stupid. So fucking bonkers, man. But a lot of those type of people, like there's an interesting, like a really, like you said, like an interesting void that's been filled by a lot of these people. And the thing that's been kind of like ticking me off are there are guys that will make 30-40 minute videos complaining about how like the Hulk show is hating on men or building female brand or whatnot. And they literally try to spend like they waste the time, they edit a video, they do a bunch of shit, pre-record, get in the audio just to complain. And I feel like for what it is that those type of people are standing for, like it's trash, dude. Like that's trashy. And those are the people that go and they'll hate on like these TV shows early in Rotten Tomatoes. They won't give it a chance. And I feel like that's like a really weird thing that's going on with like a trend. Like it's almost like you're either for it or you're against it. And when people are listening, like the way we have our followers here that listen and watch us on different platforms, like it's like if those people were to come in and be like, oh, the average boy said Rings of Power isn't good. Let's go all hate on it. Let's go fucking jump on it and say it sucks. That's kind of like the thing I want to convey to the people that listen to our show. Like don't do that kind of stuff. Always be strong in your opinion and stand by your ground of whatever it is that you're wanting to do. But give it a chance first. Be understanding. Be open-minded to everybody else's opinions and what they cater to or what they passion to. If you don't like it, then you don't have to follow it after you stop engaging with them for that moment. But give them the opportunity. The same thing, like if you were to see someone out doing like a show, or I have a lot of my friends that are into the LGBT community stuff, and I support every one of them. I love my friends. And I've seen people out there that just hate on them to hate on them. And it sucks. It really sucks when you see people like that. So people that are out there, if you don't like the She-Hulk show, you don't have to watch it. It's not for you. Me, myself, I'm not saying for me it's an 8. It's like a 7.5. Give it a chance. Check it out. Maybe you might like it. I have my reasons, but I don't hate it. I'm not going to say, screw that show or whatever. I'm going to still watch it. I'm still going to watch it. I dig it. I'm about watching that show. I'm excited because I want to see what they're going to do with Daredevil also. But yeah, I would say rating wise, the She-Hulk show for me is about a 7.5. It's got just the right amount of comedy so far. It's got an interesting story. But something you said earlier that really caught my ear is something that really aches me a lot is I don't get enough story in the 30 minutes that it's got. Like for sure, I think the episodes need to be just a tad bit longer. And I don't know that if this is a format that Disney's going to follow for the next couple of like series or shows. I really hope they don't. Like for some reason, the last episode for me, not 3, 2, felt super rushed. The ending credits came and it like ended super fast. The last shot.
I actually appreciate that because I thought we were going to be spending too much time on the Emil Blonsky trial.
Oh, it's good though.
It you know what? I'm glad we rushed through that so that we can get through to whatever else is going on. Because I feel like it's only a 9 episode series, and I think there's gonna be a lot of shit going on. So they're gonna have to try to rush through a lot of shit. So I'm glad.
Well, I mean, as a matter of fact, Sal Seguda, a good friend of ours, in the comment section just put, and Sal is a comic book collector. I've known this guy for a long time. He's like another Mike Betancourt. Like he knows his stuff. And he says the She-Hulk show was way better than I thought it was going to be.
I think that's the consensus.
That is a testament.
But I'm on, for the first 3 episodes, I'm on Rotten Tomato right now. It's got an 88 from the critics. And it's got a 50% from the audience. So
of course, and I think that's if you go to the comment section, a lot of people are going to say it's stupid or it's boring, and they're just not giving it a chance. Just give it a chance, dude. Quit being super crazy. Quit thinking that Disney hates you. Just have a good time. I think you said it yourself. These characters, like where were you invested in She-Hulk before this show came out? Like, where were you buying her comic books or champion her shit before? This is the first time we're getting her in a live action adaptation. If anything, they're revitalizing her character in the comic books more. They're bringing more attention to her character. Where's the problem in that? Like, where's the problem? If they screw up a story somewhere else, that's on that writer. Leave it to them, but just pay attention to the story for what we got. It's not too bad. I'm digging it. It's not too crazy. In my opinion, it is what it is. I did want to say before we go, did you like the reference that we got for the Wrecking Crew? So the guys that came out and attack her at the very end, one of the dudes looks back and go, "Hey, Thunderball, did you get it?" And he's like, "No, I couldn't pierce her gross green skin or whatever." That was literally the live action variation of like the most C-class villains in all of comic book history, which is the Wrecking Crew, which is like, there's guy's name, I believe it's like the Wrecker. We have, of course, that Thunderball, which is one of them, Bulldozer and Pile Driver. They didn't mention all the other names, but like, I did like what did you guys do? Like steal a bunch of tools from an Asgardian construction worker? That shit was funny as fuck though. But it literally looks like all of them were just literally construction worker, like Asgardian enchantments, which is like, I have to ask Brian and anyone else out in the comments, who do you think the boss is?
Originally my first inclination would be General Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh yeah, but he's not in the picture right now.
Why?
Well, the actor that played his part passed away.
But the character's not dead.
The
though,
character's
right?
not. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Yeah.
All right. And he's been there. He's actually been there longer than 99% of the characters in the MCU right now. So he's still there. They can recast. But if it's not gonna be him, it's got to be him because they got to get this Thunderbolt shit under wraps. And
Frogman, damn, Frogman
or Frogman, no, Frogman was another theory I did see out there. I did see Frogman.
I mean, and we do know that he comes out in the trailer and
Frogman,
he looks fucking fantastic, dude.
Frogman is going to be in this show, so maybe it is Frogman.
Yo, hear me out, dude. What if it's the actual Enchantress? Like, not the one that we got in Loki 2 where it was Loki and she was just like, oh, I enchant stuff. What if it's the actual character, the Enchantress? Like her own iteration. And that's why it's enchanted construction work that's Asgardian.
They bring her out in a show that's got a fucking 50% watch rate.
I mean, dude, the Enchantress is not like a huge villain. There's no reason. Like, if you would have brought her into a Thor show, it would have already happened.
Dude,
literally,
what are you talking about? She's a huge fucking
for Thor, fucking. But like, if you're not going to use her, like, there's no way they're using her anymore. Like, you're there's a bunch of other characters.
I can't see them bringing out a huge villain like that in She-Hulk.
I don't know, man. For it to be okay. So one, we got two cues. One, we know just by going back and looking at that stuff that everything that they have is like pretty basic shit you'll find in a construction site. Literally, the dude that jumps on her back has a hard hat with Asgardian symbols on the top. That's just a hard hat. That's literally a hard hat. So if someone was to give these dudes something like that, could it be someone who could literally enchant just everyday items? And we've already used a female version of Loki, so we can't say it's what's her face. But they did not use the Enchantress, which is, yes, a character, but she's just a character that can do some shit. She's like a background character in the Thor universe. She's fairly used, rarely. All she does is go in, does a couple of comic books where she's just like, well, I do it because I love Thor. And that's it. But Thor's not even on planet anymore. And we do know that the Asgardians, you see, look, Sal right there. Sal in the comments. See? I'm just throwing a little bit.
So they say that they robbed Asgardian construction worker.
Yeah, that's the joke. Yeah, that's a joke. She says, did you rob a construction worker with Asgardian armory or so? I don't know what she said. She said something.
That wasn't a joke. They did that shit. Like, they robbed a Asgardian construction worker. I don't think that was a joke.
I really don't think like they were gonna have like an actual dude with like they don't need to be enchanted. Those guys are like Asgardians. They're strong as shit. But like literally, they had like literally pieces of like parts that were all Asgardian inscribed. Like, okay. I really don't think that that's like literally like there's an actual like Asgardian construction workers. Because why not fucking take them all down and take all their shit? You know what I mean? Like the whole ass thing. There's a possibility, and I really think that would be a really interesting take if you were to give She-Hulk an Asgardian villain. For years, it's always been like you'll have Thor versus the Hulk for no reason. Like they always just throw down in the comics. And these guys aren't the brightest guys in the no, they're not.
Bullshit.
They're dumb as shit.
So I'm not going to, again, I can't see them giving Enchantress these guys to do her bidding for her. So I don't think, and again, she's not even introduced in the MCU, and I don't see them introducing, and I get what you're saying, but she is a major villain.
You think she'll be a major player?
In Thor, no, I think she is a major villain for Thor, so I don't think she would be introduced in She-Hulk. It's got to be someone that we either know or we know is going to be in this show. So Frogman, Gabe, great call. I think that's probably it. If not, then probably General Ross. If not, then what's the chick's name that's about to start the Thunderbolts? It could be her.
Fuck, what's her name? Valentina.
Yeah,
Yeah, Valentina. That she maybe came across
her.
and stuff.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, again, there's you could have gotten that Asgardian shit from anywhere. Like you could have gotten that shit from the black market. You could have gotten that shit from anywhere, bro. Like, it didn't have to come from someone from Asgard. Like you can find that shit from anywhere at this point with where they are in the MCU. So I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is Enchantress. I think that's
It's sort of
stretch.
shot in the dark. That's all
Because
it is.
now,
All I'm doing is I'm just
because now you have to. Well, no, you don't have to explain, but maybe who knows?
because okay, so one of my biggest concerns right now, and I know we're getting to time already. One of the biggest concerns for me right now in the MCU in Phase 4 is that there's so many object weapons that are coming out that have some kind of inscription that Marvel is having to explain where it's all coming from. And right now, our assumption is like most of the major players, which is like Miss Marvel, Shang-Chi, we're all assuming that it comes from the Eternals. So I think right now, without some type of explanation about the like being mutants or anything like that, all you can get is enchanted items. And most of the enchanted items all have to like siphon through like the Doctor Strange world or realm with Dr. Wong or Wong or whatever. But like these weapons are kind of just like popping up out of nowhere, which of course Spider-Man referenced them when the Chitauri came in or whatnot. Right now, we just got a really cool introduction for a light elf out of nowhere, like in She-Hulk. So we know that Asgardian does have different races in it. And then we saw in Thor Love and Thunder that there's a bunch of different children from different races that are all amongst the Asgardians also. So I don't know, maybe just by chance we get this cool callback to like, hey, where did you guys get all of these random things? And they're like, oh, well, this chick made them for us, because they just needed lackeys, a gang of dudes to just have some cool weapons.
So then, what would she want with the blood of She-Hulk then?
So a lot of the times in the this is just me shooting a shot in the dark. A lot of the times in the comic books, Loki always wanted to steal the power of Hulk so that he can control the beast. So that it could be like a driving force that he could beat Thor with.
Okay.
Maybe Enchantress sees it as an opportunity, like, hey, there's a female Hulk. She's less violent than this one. Maybe I could take her powers. Because like in the Marvel cinematic, no, I mean not in the cinematic, in the comic books, everyone wants the Hulk's powers. Like everyone does. But of course, they don't want the rage. They don't want the problems that come with it. They just want the specific power. So right now, with the Hulk missing and being missing from the world, who's the only Hulk left? She-Hulk. So any person that's a villain would be like, yo, new Hulk involved? How did she do that? We've been trying to master that for years. Dr. Doom wants to be Hulk. Everyone wants the Hulk's powers. And now a second person came up with the power.
I think the whole premise of the show is that there's going to be someone that wants to start a race of Hulks. And I don't know if that falls under Enchantress or Frogman. So that's the reason why I say General Ross. I think that
General Ross makes a lot of fucking sense because he's dude's like the dude.
Yeah, I think the whole point of this, because they made a conscious effort in episode 1 to destroy Jen's blood and to make it, a thing. I think the whole point of this show,
right.
I think the whole point of this show is that there is someone out there that is trying to make an army of Hulks.
Yep.
So,
and we do know that, of course, Thunderbolt Ross has always been that dude. We do know that the Red Hulk eventually comes, and Betty Ross's Red Hulk also comes in, and then she also comes out as like a female Goliath or gargoyle later on too. I forgot her name. It's like Banshee or something like that. But they also have Mastermind. Is that the villain? What's the villain? The Thinker, right? Marvel Hulk villain. There's the guy that came out in the Edward Norton movie that No, the leader.
The leader.
The leader.
Yeah.
That's the other guy that's always trying to be like, yo, that's the dude that at the end of the Edward Norton thing, his shit was landing on his head and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that dude's been a very prominent character. So maybe that's the dude that's giving these people their shit too. And maybe because we got Emil Blonsky back, we'll get the original scientist that came out in the original movie. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, so far, for you, 8 out of 10.
Yep.
For me, 7 out of 10. There you go. Harpy. She turns into Harpy. That's her name. Yeah, I can see that being a thing. So far, that's the only thing that's kind of got my that's got my attention is like, well, who's the big boss? Like, apparently it's not enough that these guys are gonna be like, oh, that person's gonna kill us. It's just like, oh, they're gonna be really upset because we failed. Like they're kind of dumb guys, which is very funny on the way the wrecking crew is in the comics. They're very C-listers, dude. You see them all over the place, just like robbing armored cars all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting to at least get something like they're kind of weird costumes. That's why I'm really excited to see Frogman. I'm really excited to see someone wearing like an actual silly fucking costume.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see like some superhero shit. Like,
yeah,
I think it's been long overdue. Everybody's always so damn serious about what they wear. Like, no one wears like stupid superhero costumes anymore. And fucking Frogman's gonna come in and just save me. He's gonna come in and fucking save me. You watch. And then Daredevil, of course, in his mustard and ketchup costume.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited about that. But yeah. What else are we looking forward to? Of course, D23 coming up next week. Guys, make sure to tune in with us next week. It's going to be a fantastic show. Super excited to what Disney and Marvel is going to be bringing to the table. Cannot wait. If anything, Brian, what are you excited for D23?
Everything. I think we're supposed to get something from Willow. Like the new Willow trailer. There's going to be apparently whatever. Listen, the tweet from today, it looked like there could be some X-Men shit coming. I hope it's not just more of the animated show, but actually some live action shit. So I'm looking forward to that.
That was straight hood. When you sent that, I was like, oh fuck, tingles, man.
Yeah,
hair
man.
Standing up, and I was like, yo, Wolverine, Schnick. Oh man, dude, I'm so excited. I'm super excited about D23.
Yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be big.
I think for me, my excitement kind of reigns more towards what they're going to do with the Fantastic Four movie. I'm kind of excited to see where that's going, of course, and to see if we're going to get any recognition for Loki season 2. Being that the talks about Henry Cavill coming in for Hyperion, since that's a big dude, you have no idea. I mean, you probably do with the Killer Clowns from Outer Space being popular right now. Like the possibility of us getting a Hyperion in the Marvel universe and us getting like a Marvel Legends, like a toy of Hyperion new that looks good. Like, man, dude, we haven't had one. Man, it's so hard. There's only 2 collector's toys that are out there for Hyperion. And one of them's like small and then the other one's bigger. And apparently the bigger one is like $75. And I'm like, yo,
shit.
I'm not about that life, dude.
Yeah.
Not about to spend that money on something I'm going to tear up. Unless I can videotape it and make someone sad who collects. Yeah, and then I'll totally do it because, yeah, I'm about that life. I'm about destroying dreams and shit. But to finally get like a new Hyperion toy, I mean, it sounds so weird for a fucking older man like myself talking about toys. But to get a new fucking thing of just Hyperion would just be amazing to me. That's what I'm excited for. If we can get like a cool, like the bearded one, like the bearded one with the ponytail, like if we get that one, I'm done, bro. I'll retire. I'm gonna retire from everything in life. I'm gonna be so happy, man. Brian, I gotta say, I'm so happy you were back today. So good to hear you and get you back on the show. Everybody out there, it's so good to see you guys again on this awesome Friday. Guys, thank you so much for tuning us with us again here on Friday nights. Guys, if there's anything you want us to cover during the week, hit us up. If there's anything you want us to know, it's good to see all of you guys in the comment section. We appreciate every one of you. To all our extraordinary listeners, we thank you so much for tuning into the show. We appreciate you. We hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy D23 next week. Hit us up with some cool stuff. You guys be cool. Let us know where you guys are at and what you guys are doing this weekend. And we will see you guys again next Friday. Like Georgie says, good night and good fight. Killer.
Peace.
Let's go. Peace.